Okay, we are going live on Facebook in a few. Preparing live stream and preview. In 9 minutes, we will have beautiful Anna together with us. And I do hope that this time there will be no interruptions like in the morning. But as Anna said, and I absolutely agree, that that is a part of the process. Hope you would enjoy it. We had our previous session just an hour and a half ago, and we've been talking about the partner as a mirror. We had the guided heart opening meditation with Anna Morgunova, and we had the constructive communication topic with Mahmoud Maihoob, and we had the Patrick Nerpetz with us, who were talking about the building the healthy relationships. Okay. Okay. Just share. I'll just share on the Facebook and waiting for you to join. It's such a great pleasure that today we covered different topics already, and we had a couple of, not couple, we had many questions that we covered, and that was actually constructive communication, 7 minutes to go. And we will have Anna on board. The next masterclass would be with Rosalba Lendechy Garcia, talking about the relationships and the relationships with money. And we will have Kingi Santiel talking about the respect and relationships. And we will have Tyishua McCoy talking about the experience in different levels of love. I'm very excited, and if you're watching this video, I'm sure you would be excited, and you would be able to learn and recall different things about the love and relationship, something important that sometimes we forget about, in our everyday life. Rosalba, hello. So nice to have you here with us. Our first speaker on board, and Anna would be with us in 6 minutes. That would be nice if you would share with us the questions that you have, so we will be able to answer those. And that's very interesting too, meanwhile, I've been listening to Mahmoud today and the Nerpetz Patrick, that I was coming up with the questions at the same time. So cool. When you want to know more and you are listening to a wonderful speaker, and you have so many questions that this session might be longer and longer than it expected to be. Yeah. So be ready. Grab your favorite cup of tea or grab the coffee. Enjoy. Let me share on my page the link. I'm supposed to be live and grow low. Yes, we are. On Facebook, I don't see it yet. Welcome, Patrick. Somehow from the laptop, I don't see that we're live on a Facebook. Yay! Anna is here. Yes, we're live. Yes, we are. Maybe it takes time.
Hello again.
Hey,
I'm
good
back.
evening.
Happy to see you.
Welcome, Anna. Anna is our guest from the UK. Just a minute, I will open up your bio. I've been checking if we are live on the Facebook.
We are, I guess, because I have the sign live on Facebook. So I guess everything's okay.
Okay.
My greetings from London to everyone. How's your day been doing?
It was great. It was exciting. Actually, it was quite nervous, but after the meditation, it was very, very good. That's a pity that we had those interruptions, but I do hope that this time that would be all right and nobody will interrupt us that way.
Are you tired?
Me?
No, everyone. No?
I'm very excited, actually. I want to listen to our speakers because that was so interesting, very inspiring, the first session. And I'm looking forward to listen to our speakers. Let me tell you a little bit about Anna. Anna is a quantum healing hypnosis technique as taught by Dolores Cannon, practitioner level 2, cognitive behavior hypnotherapist, and mindfulness practitioner. And I'm sure you would love her meditation. It was so wow. I actually want to experience that the second time and enjoy it.
Okay, that's brilliant. This one is going to be a little bit different. It's not a hypnosis itself. It's just the mindfulness practice on self-love meditation and self-love. And we're going to keep the awareness deep inside our heart and expand it into the space. It's wonderful. I hope you will like it and you will really enjoy this. Okay, are we ready to go?
Yes, we are ready.
Amazing. I would ask you now to close your eyes, sit really comfortably, and just relax. Please bring your kind awareness to how your belly, chest, and head each feel right now, and maybe to the emotions that you can associate with your state of being right now. And just relax. If we do not allow the natural love for ourselves to be expressed, love does not reveal its beauty very often throughout each day of our lives. Now get into a nice relaxing position, removing any distractions for the duration of this session. Take the very first action in self-love right now. Your ability to breathe at will in all different kinds of ways. Our breath has been there literally our entire life, changing as needed to the demand of exciting circumstances and flowing effortlessly when we are resting. We don't need to do anything, do nothing, do less, and just relax. Taking multiple full and deep breaths every day is proven to change our bodies and minds for the better. Taking 5 full and deep breaths, holding it for a moment at the top, and naturally exhale. 1. Inhale a nice big breath, expanding your belly and lungs as much as you can, and hold it. Hold it, hold it, hold, and exhale gently with relief. Sending a deep, nice wave of relaxation through the whole body to each and every cell of your body. 2. Inhaling fresh oxygen that will be supplied to your bloodstream right now. Holding it, holding, 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 and then exhale with a relief. 3. Inhaling deeply again. This fresh oxygen. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and exhale. Sending a big wave of nice relaxation to every lovely cell of your body. 4. Inhale, noticing how breathing fully comes naturally for you. Pausing it, soaking it in, and exhale any tension or worry, just letting them go away. And sending a big positive wave of relaxation. And 5. Inhaling full ease and act of self-love. Pausing to feel that love in every lovely cell of your body, and then exhale into complete relaxation. Now let your breath flow at a pace without any effort from you now. Do less. Do less. Do absolutely nothing. Good. By doing this, you're proving you are capable of self-love and respect. Deep breathing increases the supply of oxygen to your brain and stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, sometimes referred to as the rest and digest system. By breathing deeply and often, you're commanding your body to rest, which relaxes and renovates you. This is self-love in its absolute and simplest form that anyone can do at any time of the day. Now let's honor ourselves by relaxing the mind even further. Notice now how your thoughts are rising in your mind, one after another. See them come and see them go. Do less, do less, do absolutely nothing. Some thoughts linger for some time and some thoughts only come for a split second. And if you can really focus, you will notice even smaller thoughts, which is describing the world around you, labeling the things in your surroundings. They don't mean anything. You're not your thoughts, and you're not your body. Now let the hearing become super alert and try to focus on some sounds around you. Maybe you can even hear the sound of your own breath. Can you hear nature nearby? Can maybe just visualize the sounds? Or perhaps cars passing by, or even people talking to each other. Just go from sound to sound, focusing on only one at a time, and let it be there, and move on. And now, stop focusing on any sound in particular, and just allow all of the noises around you to come in equally. And when you hear them, they almost stacked as tiny waves of relaxation, calming your mind. Good. Your mind relaxes when and activate your senses on command, and you can do it any time you wish. You do it. Your mind relaxes on your command. Let's use the power of your amazing visualization ability to induce self-love. Begin to imagine yourself full of an abundance of self-love. See yourself now choosing healthy food and cooking at home so you can enjoy all the ingredients and fulfilling them with your loving touch. Vividly see yourself doing this every day from now on. You're loving yourself. Imagine now putting yourself around a beautiful golden light. It just comes from your own heart and expands with you while you're breathing in and exhale. Good. And you're just filled with this beautiful golden light, and you're expanding it all around you and even further into the space, sending the light to all your loved ones, to all beings, with love and gratitude. Let it just be there. And another form of self-love is observing your mental chatter. In order to have great self-love, you should expand the good things you feel around yourself and challenge any negative thoughts as they arise. So hear yourself saying, when I fully love myself, I am able to fully love and accept others. Deciding to love myself is a wonderful agreement. And each day, I allow my love for myself grow more and more. I'm worthy of love and I honor the joy that comes with it. Deciding to love myself unconditionally, no matter what happens, feels wonderful. I deserve love and self-respect. And my self-esteem grows along with my self-love. I love and accept everything about myself. I completely and always love myself. Today I love myself even more than yesterday. Truly loving myself is easy for me. The love I love myself, the better my entire health. And I love every moment of my existence. Every part of me that makes me who I am, and I love myself even more. And when I love myself, I allow myself loving everyone around me, because I know that they are my mirror. And I know when I love myself, I love everyone else around me and everywhere in this reality. And that is absolutely wonderful. And I have unconditional love within me that overflows in abundance to those around me. And that's absolutely great. Do less. Do less. Do absolutely nothing. When you're ready, you can gently open your eyes again. Take a fresh breath and know that whenever you love yourself, you will find love everywhere. Thank you. We're a little bit earlier. Finished a little bit earlier. How are you feeling? Did you feel anything special within this meditation?
Patrick, would you love to share, Rosalba?
Very peacefully. Very peacefully. Thank you
That's
so
brilliant.
much.
You're very welcome. Let's love ourselves and let's expand this love to everyone around. And it's a beautiful feeling. Do you agree? That's amazing.
Totally
I
agree.
love you, everyone.
Thank you.
I love everyone here.
Thank you.
And
It
in my
was
heart.
wonderful. It was great. It was, accelerating. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Was
You have a
touching.
Love and
beautiful
light
energy.
to
Thank you so much.
love and light to everyone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's true. That's
Okay.
absolutely lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Anna. Guys, this is Anna Morgunova, and thank you so much for being with us. And she's her contacts. She's one of the. She's on her contacts on the page Grow Low. I'm still in love, so I cannot talk. So you can find her, and it's so wonderful experience. Thank you.
Yes, and I really hope that it's not our last time we meet, right? We will be meeting more, promise me.
I
Because it's a beautiful thing we're doing, really. Beautiful souls all together, expanding our love. It's amazing. That's what we really need. Everyone needs this right now.
we will be blessed, and that would be amazing. I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely. That's just yes, 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 yes.
That's great. Take care of yourselves, and I see you very shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Nerpetz. Thank you, Rosalba. We have in a few minutes the new masterclass by Rosalba, and I will introduce this beautiful lady from such an amazing country, warm country with the people with such a shiny, warm hearts, Mexico, and Rosalba Lendechy Garcia recently started in the fascinating world of coaching in the area of nutrition and well-being, with more than 20 years working. 20 years, working in the area of health, and with lots of passion for helping people find a healthy path, both physically and emotionally and spiritual.
Thank you so much, Karina. Thank you so much for sharing this space with me. And I'm very excited to be here today. And well, I decided to choose this topic because I cross for a personal journey. Recently, I have big financial troubles. And this put me on a place that I was thinking the money has the guilt because I have troubles. And I start to get obsessed with this topic in particular, with the money, because I suffer hacking from my bank account, and I lose everything. And I was very disappointed, angry, and anxious, mostly anxious, because I don't believe that I have to lose everything. I didn't know how I will do to pay my bills. And I have the mortgage, I have the regular bills, the light service, the internet, etc. The food for my daughter, because I have a daughter. And that put me in a very dark, deep place. And I was very angry. And I start to do questions in a different way, because at some point I think, what I am doing here, if I'm not able to resolve these kind of problems, what I'm doing here. So that's why I start to learn and to heal mostly to heal. That's why I get to the point to understand, is the money a clearest mirror for have self-knowledge. So this is why I choose this topic. This is my little story. For now, as you can see, I'm very happy. I cross the line to think that there's no other way, and I change my thought, my minds, but mostly I have a heart in peace, and I can enjoy my life in a very different way. So if you let me, we are going to start to talk about this class. And I hope you enjoy it and all the people around enjoy it too.
I'm sure.
So I don't know if you want to agree something with this.
With what you said, you mean previously?
uh, uh, like I said, I start this journey because this big trouble I passed, and I passed it, and I really was in a very dark bad place. So I'm going to I try to share with the people this experience, and I hope can help someone with this situation.
That's um, um, that takes a lot, and that's very that tells about your pure heart. If you struggling yourself, gonna help people just with what you've learned, and to help people to overcome that if they have the same troubles. I'm looking forward to listen to you. That's very touching.
Thank you so much, Karina. Thank you so much. Well, I guess the first step for start this masterclass is I don't know if somebody here someday ask ourselves, what is your relationship with money? How is your relationship with money? I don't know if somebody asking this at some point of your life.
I did. Yeah, sure.
That's
Who
great
else?
because this is believe it or not, like I said before, the money is one of the clearest mirror we can have for knowing ourselves. And the behavior we develop with money is pretty similar that the behavior we develop with our relationships. And let me put an example. Uh, how about if we start with the unpleasant topic, the bills? So here's the thing, when the bills come, uh, I don't know, but some people react in a very hard way. Some people, when get the bill, experience these dense emotions like fear, mostly fear, anxiety, and they are in a state of unfaithful because they think that they are not able to pay it. And sometimes when the people don't feel able to pay the bills, just ignore the bill, and they start to have financial trouble because they don't pay on time, or they don't think that they can get enough money to pay the bills. So they go angry too at some point because they believe, uh, the money is not for me, I am not enough good to get money, or I don't deserve to get the money. And how this reflect in our simple life. Um, if If you tend to not even look at the bill or you put off paying it, this action says that there is something about you that you don't want to see or you prefer to ignore and don't heal it because the primary reaction is talking about how we feel from inside. So if you are experiencing fear or anger, it's probably that you are angry with yourself for not being able to cover your bills, and you get angry in second place with money because it's not available for you. So we start to be angry all the time with our family, with our partners, with our kids. Sometimes we are desperate to get this money for pay our bills, and that's why we start to get angry all the time and we focus only on the money, and that's why we are reflected in our behavior and the money. And if you have the idea that you don't have enough, this going hand to hand with how you live in scarcity and don't feel worthy of living with enough. Or probably you think about only generating the minimum to be able to pay off your debt. And that's uh, that's that's a topic is going close with the feel the sensation that we are not abundance. We start to focus on say I don't have enough money, so I am not abundance. And this is a very wrong idea. This is the war idea that we can have in this difficult time. So that's very important why we have to stop at some point and observe our feelings, our deepest feelings. I know it's hard because when you feel really desperate because you say, what I'm going to do? I lose everything. I don't have nothing. It's very, very hard to change our thoughts and put a stop in our mind and breathe. Just breathe and ask ourselves why I am experiencing this feeling, why I feel this angry, why I feel this anxiety, why why I feel unable or useless to resolve this. This is the point where we have to stop. Because if we don't stop, we are letting our sadly thoughts grow and grow and grow. And it's an endless cycle that later we can stop and we can take us in a very hard endings. Um, and another cases, but I'm not going to talking about something very sad because I'm here to help people to change this kind of thoughts. I know it's difficult, but uh, sometimes this reaction, mostly of the times, are unconsciousness. This reaction mostly of the time are unconsciousness. We don't notice that we are angry. We just believe that we need the money to solve our problems and we are going to stop to be angry. And it's not that way. This is the bad news, but we have good news too. And also, uh, I don't know if you meet someone or you notice some people who thinks they don't have enough money. They think too that they are not enough for have a good relationship or for have a good job or for having a good marriage. That's why I said before, the money is a clearest mirror for show us who really are. And well, uh, this is the time to ask ourselves, what do I think about money? If I do, if do I think the money is bad, or do I believe that if don't work hard for it, I won't have it in abundance? Or do I think the people who have a lot of money are bad? Or do I believe that those who have money have been very lucky? What we think about money, that is a question who take us to understand more what we need to heal. I don't know if someone here want to participate with these questions. What is their beliefs or thoughts about money?
I can. I would love to. I took the program 2 years ago about the metaphysics of money and the business, and I discovered many fears concerning that. And one of those, yeah, that people who are rich, they are bad. Yes, or I'm in the different level with the rich people, so um, I would not be on the same level with them. And because like there are so many things connected, because if they are bad, I even don't want to be on their level, because I don't want to be bad. One of that things. And of course, I don't have enough of knowledges to grow more, like to become rich, or I don't know how to operate with the money, so I would not be rich. Or I wasn't born in a rich family, so I would not be rich. And there is the situations that you experience with the rich people, and you see again that they are bad and they hurt you, and you think, no, I don't want to go to that side or to that position, so I would be bad as well. So just
Yes, thank you so much, Karina. You said a lot of very important things, but guess what? Even the people who has a lot of money, they experience the fear too, because they think something is going to happen and they're going to lose their whole money. And as you can see, if we are not balanced with ourselves, with our feelings, we are very exposed to experience these dense emotions. We feel unable to go out from there. And at some point, we all see all dark. We are not able to wake up and say, oh, this is a beautiful morning. I'm very abundant in health because I can wake up and I can breathe and I can go to take out my dogs for a walk. We don't think that. We just wake up and start this cycle. Uh, um, how can I call this cycle? A kind of toxic cycle with our mind, because we wake up and say, oh, tonight I don't sleep enough. And we go to the closet and choose our clothes. And when we are looking at the mirror, we said, I am not thin enough. I don't work in enough for the body what I want. I don't eat enough well, and and that kind of thoughts start from the morning at the end of the night of the day, because also when the day finish, we said, oh, this job is not enough good for me. I don't like it, but pay the bills. Or if we are single, we go back to our house, or in these cases, we back to our bedroom and we think, oh, I am not good enough, and that's why I'm lonely. Or if we are married, we think, I am not good enough to have this 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 marriage working. That kind of things. That's what we thought. So, like I said before, a lot of these talks are not consciously. That's why we have the need to stop and observe ourselves, our thoughts. When we start to think that we are not enough, it's time to say, wait. Why I think this? I have two legs, I have two arms, I have one head, just like other people. I am enough. But like I said before, this is a very hard situation, because we are programmed to think that we are enough. And this take me to this second part. Um, there is 7 sources of love that we need to heal, because if we don't have the balance in these sources of love, probably we are going to experience this. That's why if even the people who has a lot of money feel this kind of anxiety or this fear for lose his money, because they don't balance these 7 sources of love. And well, maybe you are asking yourselves, what what are those sources of love? And the first one is the support. When we was little babies, we need to get these sources from our parents. Our parents has to give us these sources. And the first one, the support, is the feeling who take us to looking for this support in the other side. We're looking for a partner, a couple who give us this support. And of course, if you don't balance this need for support in the money language, you are going to chase the money because you think the only support that you have in your life is the money. And you go behind the money. You are going to work on this, work on that. Maybe you are working in something that you don't like it, but it's a good pay, and you choose be there because you don't want to feel this fear, or you don't want to feel that you need support. That's why you are looking for all these. I'm sorry for the barkings. uh, I have 3 dogs, but I'm sorry. So if you don't have feel you're feeling from support, you are going to chasing the money, and you are going to looking for outside a relationship who make you feel that you are supported for someone else. Another source is the affection. And when we lost this affection, we lost even the self-love. Why? Because nobody teaches in our childhood how to love ourselves. Maybe some cases the parents are not so expressive, and they don't say, I love you, I'm proud of you. And you don't develop these qualities in your life as an adult. And in the deep, you have this hurting thing, and you are going to looking for somebody who give you affection. And this is the way how you start to become in codependent partner, because you need that affection, but you never stop and say, wait, this is a moment to stop and look at inside, because there is a place where I can get this affection. No, mostly of the time, because we are not conscious of this, we are looking for outside. And in relation with money, if you are looking for affection, of course, you are going to you're going to expend a lot of money. You are going to
Una compañera que tengo, una amiga de
you are going to don't worry. You are going to looking for to buy expensive gift to give in to the people. You are going to fall in debt because you need to show the people that you are worthless, that the people can stay with you and give it your affection. It's kind of you are going to try to pay for affection. And that's why we start to get in debt, because we looking for expensive things for show this affection. This is how the money uh, has the relation with the affection. Inspiration, we need inspiration too, and our first years. We need the inspiration because the inspiration give us different ways to develop our talents or our gifts for the world. And if you live in a place where all the time told you you are not going to live being a musician, for example, or why you want to draw, you are not going to pay bills with drawings. And mm, I know our parents don't do that because they want to be mean with us. No, they do that because they are caring for our future. But sometimes they cut our wings because they make us feel that we are not able to develop our talents and living across the talents we have. And that's why it's very important, the inspiration. And that's why we start to accept jobs that don't make us feel happy. And this is a very, very wrong way to get money, because if you get money with this feeling of sadness, the money goes disappear. The money needs a source of love too for stay in our lives, and that's why it's very important feel this inspiration. uh, the next I love the next the next source of love is pleasure. The pleasure is very important, like inspiration sometimes, or like money itself. uh, Sometimes in some places make us think the pleasure is something bad, but it's not bad. It's something beautiful. The pleasure is the path to create life. As a woman, we have the capacity to create another human being, but it's not just that. We can create beautiful things like a song, a beautiful song. A beautiful song, it can be created across the pleasure. A beautiful painting, a beautiful picture, all the things that put our feelings together in a piece of art are created across the pleasure. Why? Because when we start to create something, what we feel, even sometimes when we are doing something who make us feel joy and full of grace. I don't know if you experiences the chicken pots on your skin, because that is the pleasure. And you can experience the pleasure even drinking your cup of tea. If you give in just few minutes for yourself and drink the cup, oh my God, this is a very tasty cup of tea. You are experiencing pleasure, and the pleasure gives us the happiness, the reason for life, and the creativity we need to find another ways to get money. That's why very important the pleasure, and that's why I love so much this source. But the next source of love is the education, and not just refer to school. The education is very important. Talking about feeling, we need emotional education. We can take a lot of courses or certificates in financial education, but if our feelings are a disaster, we never gonna find a way to take the rule of our lives and put this situation in a good balance. Why? Because I told you before, if you feel that you need someone desperate, you are going to expend your money for looking for that person, because you pay apps, you send in presents, you take that person to the very expensive restaurant. You are trying this acceptance for the other people because you think across the money you are going to get their love. But that's why it's very important, this emotional education, and not just the school education. The next is the understanding. I'm very sure that a lot of people here when was a teenager feel misunderstood. Everybody feel misunderstood in some point of our lives, even with ourselves. So at some point of our lives, we feel like nobody understands our situation, and we start to be mean, even with ourselves. We start to criticize us because we don't feel this understanding, and that's very, very important to stop again, to breathe and say, I am not those feelings. I am not these thoughts. I am not this bad energy who I experiment this day. Because we are created for living in peace and enjoy our lives. And that's why it's very important to feel understanding. And if we don't understand our own feelings, we are going to lose our money because we are going to take decisions based on our these dense feelings that we experience all the time. And finally, another very important source of love is the recognition. Why is very important, the recognition? Uh, the first recognition that we deserve or we need is from our parents. Like I said before, our parents don't are bad persons. They don't do some things with finally to hurt us. No, they try to do the best that they can because this was the way they learn to be parents. So the recognition starts with your kids. If you has kids, I don't know if someone here has kids. It's very important that you say it every day how proud you feel, how loved they are, how smart and brilliant they are. Because if you reinforce these feelings in your kids, they are gonna be brilliant adults. They are gonna be amazing people that this society needs right now because they are not start to feeling bad with themselves. They are growing growing with love. They are growing with love and don't going to start to develop these behaviors that I need the recognition and I'm going to put me on a diet to look like the model on the cover. Forget that recognition. Or I'm going to work like a workaholic, forget a lot of money and get that recognition. And that's why very important that you take your childs, even if they are not your sons or your daughters. If you have niece, go there and give it a big hug and tell them how important they are, how loved they are, because this is very, very important for their development. And those are the 7 sources of love. And like I said, these sources are given by our parents. And if these sources are not balanced or healing, we start to develop these behaviors uh, with money. That's very important. And well, like you said, Karina, before, this is not an easy way. Start to healing because on first place it's very hard to recognize that I have something is hurting me from the past. See it in the mirror and look in us, like Patrick said before, being honest with ourselves is very hard because we are trying to give to the world something that we don't find in ourselves. That's very important why we need to heal us, to develop our capacity to find our deepest love and find the love in everything and every thought and every place that we are. That's why it's very important heal these 7 sources of love. And that's why it's very important to do a pause and start to look at us, start to observe our thoughts. And well, we can the good news, like I said, we can start to do this every day, step by step. But the most important is you have to love yourself. You need to stop telling yourself that you are not enough. You have to stop your mind. You have to take a breath and say, this anger, this worry, this concern that I am experiencing right now is not me. This concern that I feel about money is not me. I am enough. I have enough. I live in abundance. You must to begin to speak yourself with love and embrace the being that has gone through all this experience and begin to forget yourself, because the worst enemy that we have for healing is our mind. Our mind is designed to survive, just to survive, not for living. And that's why we start with this toxic cycle, to the thoughts, to to think in the morning, I don't sleep enough, I am not enough, I am not thin enough, I don't use the designer clothes, and I don't have enough money. It's our mind, because our mind is going to take us to the most worst scenarios for survive. But we are not designed for survive. We are made for live, for living life, for living joy, for living peace, because the that's the other thought that this society teaching us. A lot of marketing, a lot of material that we can see on social media, on TV, is designed to think, oh, I need a lot of money for travel and be happy. I need a lot of money for use this cloth, this beautiful cloth for designer and be happy. I need this beautiful car for being happy. And I feel in the deep very shame for these things, because it's not that way. And this is an endless theme, but this is the first step that we have to take. Stop our mind, stop our thought, and forgive us, and start to talk with ourselves with love and kindness.
Wow, I'm deeply inspired. Guys, do you have questions, or do you want to share your thoughts? I deeply, absolutely enjoyed it.
Absolutely. That was wonderful information. And I think people are now going to really connect differently when it comes to relationship and finance and money, because it is vital. It can either draw you together or pull you apart, if you don't have the proper knowledge that you need, in order to maintain the information, in the relationship. So, no, this was very vital. In so many ways to relationship. Absolutely. Thank you, Rosalba.
You're welcome. Thank you for your kindness words. And I'm very glad that you enjoyed this talk.
Thank you. We have the questions over here, if you're ready to go with that.
Of course.
So what is the money? How money described?
Well, many authors says the money is an energy, and this energy flew in the air, basically. But there is something that we have to know. This energy is neutral, because we have the idea that money is bad. Like we talked before, uh, we grow up thinking if you have a lot of money, you are a bad person. but it's not that way. We choose what kind of energy put on the money. If I work in something that I love, I create money with this love energy. If we share this money with people that they need, I'm sharing love across the money. And that's why the money is not a bad thing. Of course, it's not a bad thing. The money is a good thing, but we choose what kind of energy put in the money. So, yes, the money is an energy, but it's not the energy who decided what kind of energy is. We decided what kind of love we put on that money.
That's absolutely wow. I want to add, I'm very excited about what you said because learning the karmic management right now, and there is such a point, there is difference if you give the money with the pleasure, if you enjoy giving the money to other people. It doesn't matter if you give it to a poor people, or if you're sharing with your friends, or you are paying for a cup of coffee for your friends and you are grateful for that. That's the difference. If we are greedy and we feel that lack of energy, lack of money, and we think, if I gotta pay that right now, oh my gosh, I lose another like $20, I lose another $10, and we start thinking
Yes.
as well.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
and you don't lose only the $20. You lose more. You lose part of your soul. You lose part of your love. You lose part of your divine complex.
Yeah, it is. That's something that was really like Tyishua said, is vital thing that we didn't think about. That how do we give the presents? Like we give that because like we think, okay, I supposed to give the expensive, for example, the expensive present to this person. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna spend the money, and I lose. And then there's difference, like to set up another driver, like to enjoy. You pay for something, you enjoy it, you're grateful, and you know that it would come back to you. Even more would come back. That's very, very interesting topic, and I'm very, very grateful that you touched that. Tyishua, you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, well, you also lose your self-respect. You
Yes.
lose, so much, like you were describing, you lose so much of yourself. And then it puts you in an insecure situation. I mean, it's already so many things that we're insecure about, debt, weight, education, intelligence. Why would you want to add something such as that, into the relationship to cause more insecurity? Well, I could go all day with you.
I can stay here with you
this
guys
is real.
too.
Yeah, this is real. This
Yes,
is real.
yes. That's why it's very important to heal these 7 sources of love, because there is a place where everything goes.
Yeah.
If you need that, you has to be absent, this acceptation from someone else, you're going to buy expensive gift trying to be acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's very important to heal these 7 sources of love.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely beautiful. I think that I would ask, and I would, with the pleasure, place it on my page and share with lots of people those 7 sources and how you describe those, because even learning as well, different, like reading books and learning and taking the courses about the money, I think I never heard like the way you describe it right now. Like if we're honestly, like if we have lack of confidence, no, sorry, not confidence, support, so we are replacing that with money. If we have a lack of affection, we replace that with the money. That's absolutely incredible. If people would understand that would change their mind, like the reason why, and understanding why that's happening. That's the crucial, that's the way to healing.
Yes. Like I said before, you can take this course of financial education, and they teach you to save, how manage a credit card, how manage a mortgage. But if you have this deep feeling in you, there's no money, there's no money who give you enough to pay all debt, because you are not healing from this. You are not conscious that you are supplying every hole in your soul with money.
Yes, I totally agree with you. Um, the the money, it also, I think, depends on how you look at it. Okay, the perspective on how you look at the money. Like earlier on, when you are talking about why do people struggle pay bills when they are the ones who are using the facilities. So some of those are the questions to why do they need such facilities when they cannot pay the bills?
Oh,
Of which it is something like most people, they prefer enjoying the benefits than paying the price.
yes, yes, yes. But
So,
yes,
okay, yeah, you
I
can
hear you. I
continue.
hear you. Yes. No, no, no. Please, please, please,
Okay,
Patrick,
yeah. So,
finish.
in the life, it's like we choose mostly the easiest things that we find that they are easy. Okay, that's why many people prefer to work little but have lots of money. But that's not how it works. You just need to have a plan on how you can make enough so that you can be able to enjoy what you want. So I think most of the challenges, they come in when problem starts coming in, and without knowing how we can solve the problems. Because uh, if maybe, if I may put it in this way, that naturally we choose the easiest way to deal with situations or things. Uh, Many people are not comfortable taking risk or using things or that they will require too much resources or something to deal with certain issues. They will prefer something that is simple, that they can just maybe press a button, then everything is fine. But that's not how it works. So I get your point on how we miss most of the points when it comes to money. We want it, but we don't know how we can use it. We just think we'll just have it and just use it anyhow. But if you know that you worked for it or you did something that is spectacular to get that money, I think to use it is not going to be a problem. Even to pay bills, it's not going to be a problem, because you know that this thing I need it, this thing I don't need it. Then you are not going to spend your money on something that you don't need. So it
Yes,
also based on the priorities when it comes to money. When people have got money, they choose too many things that they cannot even afford.
yes, yes. Of course, Patrick. You say something very important. Uh, on first place, for making the money fluid with our life, we have to choose what is really important. Karina says something very important too. She says, in the karma laws, if you give this with pleasure and love, this going back to you at the same way. But there is something important. Okay, I can believe that I am abundance and I have a lot of money. I can think that from my heart. But I need to, every time that I'm going to shop something, ask to myself, do I really need this? This has a purpose? What is the purpose of buying a new car if my car is working?
Yes.
What is the purpose to have a big house if only it's me, which I'm going to have it at that house. What is the purpose to buy a jacket who I'm going to use only one time in a year? That are very important questions that we have to make us before shop something, before decided in what I'm going to invest my money, because you have to invest your money with love too. And if you are going to buy something, like when I go to the supermarket to do the groceries for my family, I buy good food because I know that is the way I'm going to give love to my family. I'm going to feed my family with love, not just with a tomato or with a carrot. I'm going to give love to my family. And if there is something in this supermarket that is kind of expensive, because some quality products are more expensive than others, I'm not gonna say, oh, this is too expensive, I'm going to buy the cheapest. No, there is the moment when you have to say, this is the best for my family, and this is my love for my family, and I'm going to spend this money in this quality product because I'm going to give my family. And this is the way to give this movement to your money, with love, with purpose. I'm going to give the rest of my money to some charity. But no, because this is a fine line. When we start to try to find the purpose in our life, some people say, share your money with charity. But you don't have to do this because you don't have to do. You are going to do this because you feel from your heart that you are able to share your love. Even if it's a penny, you are going to share that penny with love, not because you have to do, not because you are expected that money back to you. That's why it's very important to heal your wounds in the past. That's very important. And I think that topic that you mentioned, Patrick, it's very important because this is the way to spend your money, with a purpose, with love. And this is the way that your money going back to you and never is gonna miss. You're never gonna feel again this anxiety that you don't have enough, because you start to be glad every day for having health, for having your family, for listening to your family loud, for have the love from your pets, even that is the way that we start to feel the real abundance from our hearts and from our souls.
All connected. Wow. Well, ready for the next question? Or you lovely people have a question yourself? Okay. So the next one. What is the relationship between money and us?
Well, in this case, this whole talk is about how the money is a clearest mirror about our behaviors in the real life. And I'm going back to the 7 sources of love, because if we don't heal this, we acting unconsciously. We are acting without knowing what are we doing, and that's why we used to choose some things or make some decisions that can put us in a very hard place. And practically the money and we are the same.
Yay. I'm speechless. I'm excited and silent and speechless. Does this mean that money isn't important as we are?
No. There is no way. The money is never going to be more important than us. And that's one thing that we have to let clear, because when we start to talk about to share the money, to give the money a purpose, maybe this can be misunderstood, and the people start to think, oh, it's more important to grow up my money, to share and to give. No, never. Like I said before, the money is a neutral energy, and it's just a mirror, uh, or a tool for self knowledge, and but never be more important than a human being. Never, never. The reason why we have to clear this is because we have to feel us enough. We have to feel the abundance from our hearts and from our souls, like I said before.
Wow.
Thank you.
So from that point, how should we feel about the money? How we should look at the money? At what?
This is very, very interesting situation, because the whole day we are talking
On
about
start.
relationship.
Sorry.
It's okay. uh, the whole day we are talking about relationships, and with the money is a relationship too. That's the side we have to take. The money is a tool to help us to get self-knowledge. The money gives us the opportunity to find this situation that we need to heal. And the most important part is know that the money does not stop us or limit us to take our power. The money don't decide to live every day with love. That that is what we choose. We have the capacity to choose to live our lives, not just survive. The relationship with money is like, oh, this is a beautiful thing who complements me. This is an energy which I attract because I'm living in love, I'm living in balance, uh, I'm living, I'm living, because at some point when we have the lack of money, we start to survive. We don't think in the beautiful things that we have. We think in all the things that we don't have. And the money is one of them. And that's very important, why we have to see the money like a complement in our lives, like a tool for help us, for being better with ourselves, for loving ourselves, and for give love to the people and the world in general.
I think that might be inspiring if people would think about the money from that perspective. Is like if I have abundant the fairy tale, so I'm a magician. That's some kind of really nice explanation about that. Wow.
And in fact, there's something beautiful in here, because it happened magic. It happened magic. When you start to wake up every morning feeling this pleasure for live your life, when you wake up and you see your body and you see how beautiful it is, and of course in this time it's very important to think, I have a beautiful body because it's healthy, I can breathe. There's a lot of people out there right now, they cannot breathe because the virus, and we are here. We are full of life. We are full of beautiful things like your body. If you start to wake up every morning and you see your body and you say, this is a beautiful body. Thank you, body, because you took me to every place. Thank you, body, because you put me in this place where I am healthy. The magic start to happen. Because if you start to get those sources of love that I mentioned it in the beginning. You start to absentance yourself, and you are not going to need no one else in the outside to give you that. And your energy is going to start to change, and you are going to start to attract another beautiful things. Because if you think in beautiful things, you are going to attract beautiful things. That is the law of attraction too. So that is why I love this topic, and I'm very glad with this topic because it took me at this situation that I was be able to understand it's not about the money. It's about ourselves. It's about our heart. It's about our soul. It's about how we talk to to us in the morning and the night and every minute of our lives, because we tend to be mean with ourselves. We are the worst criticians with ourselves. Our mind is the worst enemy that we can have if we don't learn how to speak ourselves.
So, money and abundance, the same thing.
No, never. Like I said before, money is just a tool, it's just a complement, it's a neutral energy, but the abundance is, like I said before, when you wake up in the morning and you be grateful because you are healthy, because you have your family with you, because you have food for it that day. There is the place where the abundance starts. It's not just about the money, it's just about be able to enjoy your life. There is the truly abundance when you notice I don't need nothing else. Or like Patrick said, I don't need to spend my money in this meaningless thing. I don't need to do those kind of things because I am abundance. I have all I need. I have love. I have health. I have food, and I can share all this with my family. This is the real abundance.
I think there is really fragile point at this stage, because sometimes people deny to get money and to take money and to accept money, because at some point we've been taught as well that money is not that important, so the most important to be a human being, and people confuse at the same time
Yes,
that
yes. That is something very common too. But now, let me point in this thing in an example. If I feel that I don't deserve something else because I don't live in abundance, I live in scarcity. Probably my source of love, the recognition, for example, is broken. I feel in the deep of my heart and my mind goes like I don't deserve nothing else. I don't deserve the money. And
Mhm.
money is a neutral energy and is a complement, but it is important. It is important thing because it's the way that you are going to be able to help other people. It is something important. It's not something like, well, I don't care about money. Yes, you have to care about money, and but if you are not able to receive something basic, maybe you know somebody which when you are going to try to give it a hug, this person, hello, just good here, good here. I don't like the human touch. I don't know if you know somebody. Well, here's the thing. If you are not capable to receive a simple hug, you are not be capable to receive money, to receive abundance, to receive good things in your life, because your source of love is closed. If you are not able to receive a hug, you are not able to receive nothing. If you are not able to receive a simple licking from your dog, you are not able to receive anything. And that's why the people have to get consciousness that yes, it's important to receive money and it's important to receive love at the same way.
The last one. How can we start practicing abundant living?
Okay, for this, I want to make a little exercise, and just I'm going to ask you, close your eyes and breathe with me 3 times. Inhale, exhale. Feel the air in your lungs. Inhale, exhale. Don't think in anything else. Inhale again, exhale, and release. Don't open your eyes yet. Now you think, what is the most beautiful thing that you have in your lives now? The most beautiful, even if it's a flower, or your pet, or your son, or your parents. What is the most beautiful thing that you have in this moment? Think about that. When you got it, open your eyes. Now, how do you feel when you think in the most beautiful thing that you have in your life? How do you feel?
Grateful and rich.
That is the really abundance. When you are able to recognize that you have beautiful things in your life, you start to practicing the abundance.
It was wonderful.
Amazing. Amazing.
Wonderful.
So I hope this feeling you can keep with ourselves all day. And this is all I have to speak with you for now. But I'm really happy and I really enjoy this masterclass. I hope touch somebody and help somebody with these words.
Oh, you did.
Definitely you did.
Thank you so much.
I've enjoyed it so much.
Good job, Rosa. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Thank you
Rosalba?
so much. Yes?
No, he was about how to pronounce your name.
Yeah. Don't worry, you can say rocks because it's not a common regular name. Thank you so much, Kingi.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was touching.
Thank you.
Really powerful.
Wonderful. It was powerful.
Thank you so much.
And that was Rosalba Lendechy Garcia from Mexico with a so powerful masterclass about the relationships and the relationships with money. I have the goosebumps right now on my skin. And no, seriously. And I'm actually very sensitive. If I would not be on camera, I would cry right now.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for those beautiful feelings. Thank you so much. For
That's
me,
true.
means a lot. And you can make me cry too.
From the joy, just because that's
yes,
really
of course.
powerful.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you so much, Rosalba. And
Thank you.
our next speaker, Kingi, is here. Kingi
Awesome.
Santiel.
Welcome,
Yay!
Kingi.
Hey guys, I told you I was gonna bring the energy today.
Great,
All
great.
right.
That's awesome.
How is everyone?
Fine. What about you, Kingi?
So
Man, you know what? I'm doing terrific. Life is great. I can't complain. You know, I'm healthy, good people around. I got an opportunity to share this experience with all of you and make new friends, and I'm excited. So
Yes, yes.
We're excited
Great.
too.
I'm a
Absolutely.
little nervous, but I'm excited.
You got this, whatever.
Thank you. I appreciate the love. All right. So I guess we'll get started.
Yes, let me just gently remind about some little tips about yourself. Not little. Yeah. So Kingi Santiel has been in the fitness and wellness field for 25 years. I don't know why not 100 girls is not here yet, because I got very nice promotion for you yesterday, you know. So he also has 9 years of military service in 3 different branches: the Army, Navy, and Air Force. The transformation expert and serial entrepreneur, his passion has always been for love and relationships, and he's transforming lives not just in fitness, but in finding true love as well. Can you imagine? Kingi is really help people to find the true love from the very from the childhood. You said you were in school, right?
Yes. So a little bit how my passion came with love was when I was a kid. We used to play this board game because we didn't really have video games back then. So we had this board game called Life. I don't know if some of you guys remember that. And one of my favorite takes of the board game was the first part when you drive the little car and you get the little pink little person inside the car and you get married, and then you drive a little bit further and then you get the little babies and the family and everything. So that's kind of how my journey and my passion I know it sounds like a funny story, but that's kind of how my passion with love kind of started. And then of course, growing up with R&B music, and I really had an old soul, so I listened to a lot of jazz and a lot of love songs. So even in elementary, I was writing little girls like love letters. So my passion has always been there. So some people even refer me to as the Cupid back in the day.
Wow. We're going to talk about respect today, by the way. Why do respect is important in a relationship, talking about the relationship?
So respect is important because it's the foundation to any type of relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a intimate relationship, whether it's even a coworker at work. Respect is a foundation to all of that, because with respect, it builds trust, and also, a safe place for someone to come to if they have that level of respect. Because if I respect you as a person, I'm more vulnerable to open up my true feelings. Instead of not having that respect, then I'm going to be a little bit more guarded and closed off.
And let's talk about the respect in mixed couples.
All right. Now, in terms of when you're dealing with interracial couples, there is a lot of challenges because we have different cultural backgrounds. Some of us were raised differently, and then when you come into, let's say, for example, even a blended family, there could be misunderstandings on both sides because one person may be raised a certain way than the other side. So we have to learn to respect each other and understand where each other's coming from, instead of just saying, no, it should be my way, or it should be that person's way. And personally, myself, I had to learn from my own mistakes as well, coming into that type of relationship where I grew up a certain way where my parents were pretty strict and told me, okay, don't do this. And they said it one time, and if I did it again, I dealt with the consequences. Where in today's time, kids are raised totally different than the way we were raised. So we have to look at things different and not just totally react to the way we feel at that moment, because it's easy for us to always put that emotional feelings in where we feel like it's got to be my way, and we don't really look at the whole picture until later, and we realize, like, you know what, maybe I could have probably said something a little bit different than the way that I said it, instead of the way that I just came, maybe drill sergeant. So maybe I could have taken a different approach. So those are some of the things that we have to learn when it comes to that type of relationship. And again, it goes back to not only just dealing with intimate relationships, it also deals with people that we work with. There's different cultures and different types of people that may come from different ways of life. Some people may come from a foundation where they're not used to shaking people's hands, and we can't take that personal. That's their belief, that's their background. So we can't look at it as a negative thing. We have to look at it as and be open to, hey, this is where they're coming from.
I just wanted to say, yeah, that this is the issue not only for mixed couples, is the issue, I think, for all people. We're at some points of our life, we're a little bit stubborn, and we want things works just only our way. So that's the total and complete just imagination and acceptance of respect in couples. The primary thing to build the healthy relationships, because if we're just I saw that many times, to be honest, when you have just the family and very valuable, very like strong family values, and like the person insists on following these values and do not want to accept completely and entirely the values of another family, and it's like it seems like it's not the values, but it's like kind of like enemies just on the other side, and not the person who you love, but the rational mind goes to, I don't know, to another world at that times. So that's really an issue, and that's wow important.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, and the biggest thing with this respect too is all of us, and I'm going to say all of us, some of us want to deny it, but it's all of us. We all have triggers. We all have hurt. We all have pain, and whether we want to deny it or not, it's there. So certain things might be said that may trigger us to react a certain way, but we have to learn to deal with those things, and I'll get into that more as we progress with the questions.
Yeah. What about the respect each other's time?
Oh yeah, so that's a big thing. So respecting each other's time doesn't take you away from the time that you guys spend with each other. It's more of respecting. If a person says, hey, I want to go out with my buddies to play basketball for a couple hours, it shouldn't be an issue of, hey, why are you doing that? Respect that person's time. If you say, hey, you know what, I want to go have a spa day with my girlfriend, or I just need some time alone because I need to clear my head, don't take it as a negative. Just respect that person's time, because what happens is a lot of us in relationships, we don't respect that person's time, and then we put this little guard on them, and then there becomes a lot of animosity and then friction, and then that's what creates arguments and negative thoughts that we put in our head. Oh, well, he or she must want to go do this because they're not interested in you. Are they interested in somebody else? And those stars are not even there. We shouldn't even put that in our head. It's all about, again, letting that person, just because that person wants to go for a couple hours and do an activity that they enjoy, that maybe you may not enjoy, just respect that person's time. Because in the long run, when they're happy about it, they're going to come back and be excited to spend the rest of the time with you.
Is that come like, I think sometimes that comes, but I want to ask you, like, out of being insecure, because, for example, if we spend time separately, so there is the fear that the person would cheat on us. I mean, in a different ways, just, or the person doesn't want to to spend the time with us, like how that could be, like, is there like way to resolve those things and to avoid those kind of mistakes and misunderstanding?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing to that, and I should have started off with this first, is we have to love ourselves. And when we love ourselves, then we're confident enough to be in a relationship with someone else. And that's the first thing, because when you love yourself, you have that self-esteem, where you have that power. It's like, hey, you know what? I love myself. So if that person is going to do wrong to me, that's okay. I still love myself, because love is out there for somebody, for me. And that's what you have to remember. So it's okay if that person wants to go spend a couple hours, because I look forward to them coming back to me, and then we can enjoy our time together.
Great, thank you. I want just to ask if everyone hearing Kingi well, because it's kind of a little bit of interruptions that, like, I don't hear you clearly, or it's okay for everyone else.
Is it my mic?
Might be your mic.
Yeah, I think the mic. From my side, I can hear not clear.
Okay, let's try something. What about now?
Oh, it's cool.
Better?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear it.
All right, perfect. Yeah, these mics can be a little finicky at times. All right, so where were we? Yeah, getting back to
Secure. Us being secure. Yes.
Yeah.
Secure. I mean, and again, it goes back to, insecurity comes back from pain and triggers and things like that. And again, that's just something that we have to internally work on ourselves. No one can do that for us. So someone can love you and love you to death and tell you, hey, I love you and you're beautiful every day. Until you actually believe it yourself, then it's not going to work. And it's the same thing when I teach fitness. I can set programs for you, but I can't do the work for you. I can do nutrition plans for you. I can take you through workouts, but at the end of the day, you have to have the will and the drive and willing to put in work. It's just like making money. It's the same thing. It's about taking action.
Cool. Okay. What about, we're going to a more sensitive topic, the respect and sex intimacy.
Right. Yes. So respect and intimacy is very important. With that, there's going to be times where your partner is not in a particular mood. And again, it goes back to the limited beliefs that we started putting in our head. Oh, well, they're not interested. Maybe they're thinking about somebody else. It's not the case. Get that out your head. Start to understand where they're coming from. They worked all day. They're tired. They picked up kids and they're tired. So we have to look at, we can't look at it as a negative, because there's going to be times where you may not be in that particular mindset. Maybe you got a call from a buddy that, you lost, he took his life or something like that, and you're not in that particular mood, or you lost your job or your promotion, whatever it is. So we can't look at it as a negative. We have to embrace it and just understand their feelings and look into their feelings, where they're coming from at that moment.
That's the big question, I think, with everything. If you do not talk with me, you don't love me anymore. If you want to spend the time with your friends, you don't love me anymore. That's with everything. Respect and communication.
Okay, can I just speak?
Yes.
Okay, so I think I'm following what you are teaching us, and it's helping a lot. I just also want to add more on. I think some of these challenges is because of the mindset that we have set, like the rules that we have set to ourselves, that we don't want to change, or we don't allow anybody to interfere with our rules, because the mindset is locked. We have been hearing a lot of things that have been happening in the past, that if you see, for example, your boyfriend is behaving like this, okay, so it's the mindset based on the information that is already there. Then that mindset it has to change for somebody to, I think, really understand what you're trying to say. Even if maybe you say I'm tired, but if they heard or they read somewhere on the social media that, no, my boyfriend was saying this, but at the end of the day was, so people will take such things and start applying them to themselves. So even if you make anything else, they think it's an excuse. So I think the most important part is we also need to change how we think about our partners. That's important.
Absolutely, 100% agree.
When we change how we think about our partners, it means we are trusting them. When we trust our partners, our mindset also changes the way we look at them, because we start now looking at them the same way we are. That if I cannot do this, which means I don't think he can do this.
Yes, I agree, absolutely. I mean, and touching, getting to basically what you just said, we can't treat our relationships like a doctor's appointment, and it is the mindset. We have to change our mindset in order for it to work.
And that's the work. That's the entire process. And that's, I would say that that's the titanic work, when you know that you have kind of like destructive thoughts and destructive programs that do not serve you. To acknowledge those, that's the one thing, that's the big deal. But at the same time, when people are saying, oh, so you're working on yourself, can you work on this on yourself? So can you try to work this on yourself and to feel how, like, what you should go through, and to acknowledge that when you're doing, like, or when you have the particular feelings, and then you build that self-confidence and self-love, like step by step. That's like everyone who is working on themselves and just do not go with the flow is a titanic work, and there's like lots of respect for people who are doing that in every aspect.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So respect and communication.
Thank you, Patrick, by the way. All right, so respect and communication is huge, and what I mean by that is when it comes to different types of relationships, we're going to have disagreements, and again, this plays also into triggers. So things are going to be said at times that are not nice, and we want to be able to take in consideration not to try and say those particular things because it does create triggers. And so, for example, let's just say your wife tells you, take out the trash, and you just somehow forget to take out the trash. And then she tells you again until it gets to a point where, where you're just like, okay, honey, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And then it doesn't get done. And then now she blows up. And then she says, see, you're always doing this every month or every week. I have to tell you like 4 or 5 times. And granted, she did tell you 2 or 3 times, but we have to learn to communicate with each other better. We can't just, we have maybe, again, there could be a different approach. Maybe she could have gone to him and said, hey, is there a reason why you couldn't take out the trash this week? Oh, you know what, honey? You're absolutely right. I'm sorry, honey. I got tied up with work, sidetracked. I totally forgot. I'm going to go ahead and do it right now. Instead of, you didn't take out the trash. And then now he puts his defense mechanism up. He's pissed off. You're always nagging me. And now, see, you're just nothing but a nag. Now he throws a negative thing out to her. And maybe that particular statement that he said to her was something that an ex-boyfriend said, maybe something that her father said, and it puts that in her head. Now she's closed up. Now she doesn't feel safe anymore. So now she distances herself. So now when you try and go back later and be loving, she's like, I don't know, because you hurt me. And same thing, vice versa. So we have to be careful with our words. I always use this metaphor where you take a board, it's a plain piece of wood board. You put 5 nails in that board. So you hammer 5 nails in that board. Okay. Now you pull the nails out of the board. What do you have left? A board with holes. So that board is not the same like it was before. So it's the same thing when you say hurtful words to a person, because you can patch up those holes in the board, but that board is never going to be original. It's never going to be the same flush piece of wood that originally was. So words are powerful. So we have to really pay attention to how we use words in relationships and just towards people in general.
I would love to record this metaphor for myself and to share that as a reminder for people, because that puts really more of respect into relationship. Who would remember about those things from both sides? Yeah. And respecting each other for who we are.
All right, say that one more time.
Respect each other for who we are.
Yes. All right. So respect each other for who we are. You know, again, the only person that can change is you. I can't change you. I can help change you to a certain point, but ultimately you have to be the person that's willing to change yourself. So you could be the fitness person and tell me, okay, go do 1,000 burpees and do a bunch of crunches, and that's going to guarantee in 2 weeks that you're going to have a 6-pack. If I go do it, then even though you told me and gave me the knowledge, I took the action to actually do it to get it done. But if you tell me and I don't do it, then in 2 weeks, if I don't do it, I'm not going to have a 6-pack. So you can't come into a relationship thinking that you can change a person, because you have to, and that's the whole point of respect. You have to respect their good things, and you have to respect their flaws. And that's ultimately what true love is about, because when you genuinely love someone, no one's perfect. I don't care who you are. The only perfect is whoever you believe in, the man upstairs. So you have to accept their flaws, and you have to accept their good. And that's what true respect is when it comes to loving each other.
How to overcome those things, because I think that to some extent we all expect, even if we don't acknowledge that, we all want change something in the partner.
Yeah, it's easy. It's so easy to do that too. We have to again change the mindset, like Patrick said, and then also we have to put ourselves in, visualize and put ourselves in that person, our partner's shoes, and understand truly where they're coming from in order to really make a change. Because it's easy to tell somebody, okay, you know, I'm going to do this, or I accept you, but you really don't. Because something, again, it goes back to triggers. Something may trigger something. It could be an ex, it could be something that they watched on TV, that they saw and just started to trigger them. And now they're looking at it as, oh, okay, he's going to do this, or she's going to do this, and now flared up. So we have to kind of put ourselves in their shoes, and again, it goes back to loving yourself as well.
I have a question that someone put in my inbox, Kingi. They want to know, what if those flaws and those faults start to hurt the relationship and hurt you? I tried to answer her the best way possible, but she might need to see it from a male perspective as well, because I understand, what she's saying, when someone starts really revealing who they are in a relationship and you start seeing those flaws and those faults really come to life, and they're now weakening the bond that you once had with an individual, and you start seeing them in a totally different light. So are you able to just elaborate a little bit for her?
Yes. So,
oh, and thank you, by the way. I see she's listening on Facebook.
great. Thank you. So we have to, okay, when we first get into any kind of relationship, the sparks are there. We're going through the whole honeymoon phase, and everything is great. And then intimacy is great. We're bunny rabbits, whatever. Everything is going well. And then it slowly starts to drift a little bit. And the reason it kind of drifts a little bit is because, number one, we get comfortable. And we can't get comfortable. You always have to look at it almost kind of like, I'm going on an audition. I have to do something to surprise her, to keep it sparked. And when it comes to disagreements, you have to look at, okay, what made me happy in this relationship? Because it's easy, as soon as you get in a disagreement, to look at, okay, this person said this that was hurtful, and you have to look at, why are they hurtful? Why did they say those things? Mm-hmm. And understand why they might have said those things, and not take it specifically as a negative. So, for example, I'll go ahead and use me as an example. So, in my past, I would get mad about maybe certain things, and then I may become defensive, and then I have to look back later. You know what? I was kind of a jerk, and then I had to go back. Own it. Right. And I had seriously. I said, hey, I was a jerk. I had to go back and realize, you know what? Why did I react this way? Because it was something internal with me that I was having issues with. Like I said, it could have been, I had a bad day, and I just took it on my partner, took all that negative energy and put it onto my partner. And then vice versa. When it happened to me, I had to go back and realize, wait a minute, is there some truth to what she's saying, and not just take it as, oh, she's been mean to me, or she's been just difficult. So I hope this kind of answers the question a little bit.
She said it did. I was just reading. She was like, "Thank you."
Thank you.
She said, but this part, she actually said, her situation, they never really would acknowledge that it's them. They would always make her feel as if she was being mean or aggressive, or insensitive. So,
I mean, yeah, and this goes back to, I want everyone to think about this every time there's a disagreement with your partner. I want you to physically do this exercise. Go get you a piece of wood, because as silly as it may sound, it works. Go get you a piece of wood, go get you 5 nails, you get a hammer. I want you to look at that piece of wood. I want you to physically take your hand and rub the wood and see how smooth the wood is. Then I want you to take those 5 nails, hammer those 5 nails into the wood, look at them for a good 30 seconds. Then I want you to pull all of those nails out and look at it again for 30 seconds. Then I want you to take your hand slightly, so you don't get splinters, just slightly across the holes, and then realize, and that picture is always going to stay in your head. So next time you think about saying hurtful words to your partner, you're going to think about this piece of wood and nails, and then that would help with the process.
good stuff. Thank you.
From the both sides, basically, because sometimes we're really too harsh about something simple in our life, about, like you said, can you just take those trash, and we make such a big tragedy out of simple things. The cup is not at the right place, and just because in past like we had some issues with that, or maybe as a child we have been taught that that's bad to do that, we insult people with the simple things, and making by ourselves our life with a partner more complicated. And mostly I would say that as much as I learn, and I do trust to to the hypnotherapists and people who are working with the subconscious, mostly if we are too harsh to something, we took it from somewhere. This is something which does not belong to us. Yeah. That was beautiful. Thank you, Kingi. Respect and forgiveness. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was going to also mention this too. I highly recommend, if you do have a partner that you feel that may be difficult, one thing that I've learned over the years is that if you write down your issues and write them down, and just do it like a love letter, write them down, give it to your partner. Because again, when we're in arguments, we're not thinking clearly, any of us, period. So if you write that stuff down.
Or when you're hurt, or when you're in a hurt state.
When you're in a hurt, exactly, when you're in a hurt stage, you're not thinking. So if you write it down, give it to your partner later, they can actually read it and then see kind of where you're coming from. It helps. It helps. Believe it or not, it really helps.
And what if we sometimes don't want to hear each other, even if we give those kind of letters, but we don't hear, like one of the partners just
Not
doesn't
receptive.
work.
Well, again, it's timing. So obviously if that person's just not there, their mindset's not there, because it goes back again, their mindset has to be there. So if their mindset is not there, then that's probably not the time to do it. But at the end of the day, if you put that letter down when the time is right, they will read it. Because number one, curiosity, they're gonna wonder, okay, what did this person write? Are they breaking up with me? Are they, the curiosity, the mind's gonna be there. Yeah. So they're gonna read it. And then when they start to read it, they realize like, hey, you know what? okay, now I kind of understand where my partner's coming from. So a lot of times, it's easy for us to go like barking dogs back and forth, and no one is really listening to each other. So that's one of the things that I feel that has helped me tremendously in the past, because a lot of times that I would get yelled at personally from my partner. It's like, you're not listening to me. And and it's not that I'm not listening, it's just the fact that I'm trying to hear you, but we're arguing at the same time. So I'm really trying to tune it out because I don't really want to listen to
Kind
it.
of checked out. Yeah.
I got checked out, exactly. So then what happens if she writes it down, I'll go back and realize, oh, okay, all right, now I see what what I did,
Right.
and self-reflect on myself, what I need to change.
The respect and the respect and forgiveness.
Oh, respect and forgiveness. Okay, that is huge. That is huge. So respect and forgiveness, you have to truly forgive. You can't just say the words. You have to truly forgive. And when you forgive something, you let go of it. Okay. It doesn't mean that, okay, yeah, I forgive you, and then the next argument I'll put back in for ammunition to use against you. You have to truly let it go. So I'll give you a prime example of my story, if you guys don't mind me sharing. All right. So I grew up with not the nicest dad, and very, very physical, very mental abusive. And for many years, that hurt. It hurt me. I had a lot of low self-esteem where I had to question myself on certain things because of all the damage that he put in my head. So for a while, I would, it would hurt me, then I would be fine. Then certain things would trigger it, and then I'm back there. So it got to a point where I totally let go. I said, this is not going to hunt me anymore. And I called him up and I said, look, this is things that you did to me when I was younger that hurt me. And he couldn't deal with it. He denied it, basically hung up the phone. But you know what? At that moment, I was free. I was free because I felt that pain, that void, because I was able to not only stand up to my father, because growing up, I was afraid of my father for probably to the age of 24. And as a kid, every time he would come in the house, I would just shake. And so people don't realize what that does to you. So, and I would see how he treated my sister a lot better than he treated me. So there was a lot of, that animosity and things like that. So when I questioned him and he couldn't really be man enough to really answer me, I just felt like, you know what, I'm good. You pretty much answered me. So I let it go. So now I'm a happier person. I feel better. And I don't have to worry about, bringing it back in where for a long time, I put myself as a victim. Well, my dad didn't do this, and this is why I'm this way. And I feel totally free. So when you deal with someone, whether it's a past relationship that has been hunting you, all it does is going to bring toxicity into the new relationship. So you have to let that go. You have to be free, because again, there's going to be certain triggers, and it goes back to everything that we had just discussed. if you don't truly forgive, let's say that person cheated on you, and then all of a sudden, now your new relationship, that guy, he's going to the car wash for 5 hours or whatever. Now you're questioning it. You didn't truly forgive that person. So you have to go back and truly forgive that person before you can move forward. And that's
I have
why.
a question, Kingi.
Mm-hmm.
They said when forgiveness over, and she said, thank you for sharing and being transparent in that situation. She said, what about when forgiveness overlaps situations that are continuous? I've been known to stay in relationships where I have forgiven the individual, but the pain is just so unbearable, and I would have to leave. At the moment that I severed my ties is when forgiveness was actually my healing point.
That is a great question. I mean, again, that goes back down to, it gets to a point where, okay, you put in 100%, then that's all you can do. Because you can't ultimately change that person.
Mm-hmm.
If you know deep down in your heart that you did 100% and I gave my all and I forgave that person, but then they did it again. Obviously, there's a pattern somewhere that they have. Either maybe they're not understanding what they're doing, and maybe you guys have to learn to communicate differently. That could be one aspect. Or maybe it's just a pattern of something in their past. Maybe their dad did it, maybe their mom did it, and this is why they're reacting differently to that situation. So I hope that answers your question.
She said, yes, thank you. Oh, I have a gentleman. He wants to know when once I'm in a state of forgiveness and I do meet someone else, he said he is definitely guilty of bringing that baggage into past relationships. Should he go back and actually, talk to the person whom hurt him, or that he felt like he really didn't forgive in order for him to heal? Or is that something that he just needs to deal with within himself, or either talk to his partner about?
So my advice would be, I would, if possible, meaning that it's safe, it's not like, you're dealing with.
He's trying to get back.
Right. That, or, situation where it was a stalker or something like that.
Right.
Safe. Then I would go back to that person, and whether or not they want to listen to you, you explain how you feel. Because even if they don't listen to you and you went back and you explained everything, you will feel better. Trust me. And again, I don't mean to get personal again, but I've had a situation with a business partner, and she did some things that were horrible. And, I went back and I said, you know what? Hey, I forgive you. I forgive you. I said, whether or not you want to hear me or not, I forgive you. And I even embraced it. I went and gave her a hug, and it was good. And everything was good from that point. So again, if it's safe, I recommend go back and do it. In a situation where it may not be safe, then that's something that you have to come into terms with yourself, where you have to fully let it go.
He said, does he need to tell his new partner that he's reaching out to exes? Should he tell her? Should he share with her that he's reaching out to exes to apologize?
I would, yes, because I believe that honesty up front is the best thing. And in that way, the new partner doesn't find out and feel like, hey, you went behind my back. And then that creates a whole nother situation. So absolutely, I feel that, hey, Because if you truly have a true partner, they will be understanding that, hey, I'm going back to let this person know so I can get rid of this pain so I don't bring it into our relationship. And they will be totally understanding. So like, if my woman came and said, hey, I want to go back and talk to my ex because he did this, because I need this, because I feel that the arguments that we've been having is because of this person. And the only way I can release it is to go back and forgive this person truly. I'm going to say, you know what, 100%. You want me to be by your side and give you support? Absolutely. I'm not going to say, well, oh, you just want to go back because you want to hook up. No.
Right.
Okay. You want to get rid of those negative mindsets.
Right. Good stuff. Thank you.
And from there, the respect and social gathering.
Ooh, say that one more time. Sorry, I didn't hear you on that one.
Hey, that's me who is not native speaker, so it's okay.
Hey, Karina.
Respect and social gathering.
Okay, so respect and social gatherings. So that could be, again, it could be a situation where you're out at a club with your significant other, and then you may be on the dance floor, and not everyone is going to be respectful in that type of environment. You have people that are intoxicated and they do things that they shouldn't do. So again, you always want to highlight your partner, especially in a situation like that, and let them know that, hey, you're the most important thing to me. And that way they feel comfortable. So that way, even if someone came over and did something inappropriate, it still makes you feel like, hey, my partner is solid. We have our relationship is totally solid.
Absolutely.
Because, for example, I know I keep going back on myself, but
no, be transparent. That's beautiful. I love it. I love it. Those are the best. Those are the best stories.
Thank you. So I was with a particular partner at the time where we went out to dinner, and I had just got back from reserve, from duty. So I was still in my uniform, and we had to get to dinner because we had an appointment. So I didn't really have time to change. So we went to dinner, and then afterwards upstairs is kind of like a little section where they have music. They had the jazz, because I like jazz and reggae. So we went upstairs, and then my partner had to go to the restroom. And I already knew what was going to happen. So I said, you sure you want me to go with you? She's like, no, I'm fine. And I said it like 5 times. I'm like, no, I can go with you. Are you sure? And she's like, no, I'm fine. So she walks away. So when she walks away, one girl comes up, oh my God, thank you for your service. And comes up and just gives me a hug. And I'm kind of like, oh, don't do that. But she was totally respectful. She was cool. She just said, hey, my brother was in, thank you. And then she went about her business. And that was okay. Second girl comes up, totally just not respectful at all. I'm backing further and further and further to the wall, and she's getting closer and closer. And I'm like, look, my girlfriend's about to come back. This is not cool. And because I didn't want a situation, because I knew like soon as she would have got back, it would have just been a bad situation. And I knew it was going to happen because I was in uniform. So my girlfriend comes back, and I'm all like, oh man, I'm about to hear it right now. So I'm putting that negative thought, I'm about to hear it right now. But she comes back, and it was totally cool. And I told her, I was upfront, honest. I said, look, I knew this was gonna happen when you left. I said, this girl came up. This one right here was respectful, and this other one right here, she was just kind of inappropriate. But I said things straight. And then I basically, embraced my girl and let her know, like, hey, everybody in the environment, like, this is who I'm with. This is who, I'm involved with, who I love. And So it doesn't matter, if you try to come up to me or not. This is who I'm with because she's important to me, and that's what you have to do. So when you're in those type of gatherings, you have to make that person feel the utmost comfortable and let them know, like, hey, you are important to me. I don't care if Denzel Washington came in, whatever.
That's
like,
right.
like, hey, you're still important to me, or vice versa. Hey, Holly Berry came in. Yeah, Holly Berry's fine, but you know what? It's okay, baby. You're fine.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
And from there, respect for yourself.
Say it one more time.
Respect for yourself.
Respect for yourself. All right. So respect for yourself is you have to know what you're willing to accept in any kind of relationship, and you have to know your boundaries when it comes to that, because if it gets to a point where it's just too toxic, too negative, then you're really not respecting yourself, because you're taking in all this negative energy, and all it's going to do is just damage you in the long end. So you have to learn how to love yourself first and respect yourself. And if you can love yourself first and respect yourself, then everything else is going to fall into play perfectly.
Yeah, basically all of the points that we've been going through, they would be covered from that perspective, I think, if you have enough respect for yourself. Yeah. And respect and boundaries.
All right, respect and boundaries. Boundaries, again, it goes to situations where, say, for example, you're in a relationship, and again, the past is the past. So doesn't mean that you can't, I don't even want to use that term. So the past is the past. So for example, let's say you're in a relationship, and then your ex calls and they had to tell you something. Maybe it was something that an old bill that you guys had to settle or whatever. Okay, that's fine, as long as it's an appropriate situation, and it's an appropriate conversation, and it's an appropriate time. That's okay, because I get it. There was, you guys were in a relationship. You may have to settle different types of businesses or situations, especially if it was a marriage or something like that. Here's the problem when it comes to boundaries. When you have certain things, like if an ex called late hours that was inappropriate, and then you didn't correct the situation, this is when it creates arguments. This is when it creates insecurities. You have to correct that situation. So, for example, if someone called me, at midnight, an ex, I'm gonna say, look, you can't. I have someone. You can't call me. It's disrespectful to me. It's disrespectful to her. You can't do that. So you have to correct that. You can't just go to your new partner and say, "Oh, it's okay. It was just that one time." No, because they're not going to feel important. You have to correct the situation, and you have to do it in front of them, letting them know that you corrected the situation. You can't just say later, "Okay, I'll go back tomorrow and I'll correct the situation," because in their head, they're gonna think like, did she really, or did he really correct the situation? You have to correct it right then and there.
Thank you, Kingi. Anyone else have the questions? I think there was the session like full of the practical things and the life things, and very transparent, heart touching things that people can take. Oh, that's good. I can read just, even your microphone is muted. Okay. Anyone else want to ask Kingi? I think he can give you an excellent answer on something that you're interested in. I have actually like my own question about like if there is like a difference in between like how two different genders, like how man and woman can see what respect it is, you know, not only like the personal things, but just like according to genders, if they but it's like is connected with the just with the personal stuff, but if there is some things like that, so how and what should they do and how they should agree on that? A different understanding on respect, how people should find the common the common ways to resolve the issues that like something is different for them.
Okay. So again, I mean, it goes back to what I think that you should, if you can't really communicate well with your partner, then write it down. Because like for me, I'm a visual person. So some people learn differently. And again, if I'm having a disagreement, I may not understand, I may not see that situation that person is, what they're coming from at that moment. But if they write it down, then I end up reading it like, oh, okay, I totally get it now. You know what? This is what I need to do to change. And then if you can communicate well, sit down and actually be vulnerable. Open up. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Don't, have this guard up, because a lot of us have this guard up because we don't want to be hurt. But at the end of the day, whether you have a guard up or not, you can still be hurt. So in order to make it really truly work, you have to open up. You have to allow yourself to open up and then take in what a person is saying, what your partner is saying.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I have a few exercises that sorry I don't have like a PowerPoint to have all the information. I can probably get that to you later, but I'm just gonna read a few things. So the true love test for men. Does she value and share her inner thoughts, feelings, needs, and desires with you? In particular, is she able to bear her vulnerability, open heart when she's in pain? Number 2, does she honor your dreams and purpose as deeply important? Does she see greatness in you and consciously create sacred space for you to do your best work? Number 3, does she have the strength and the wherewith to withhold in your confusion, pain, or fear, and create a safe place for you to expand and feel loved and supported? So I'm just gonna read 3 of those, and I'm gonna read the one right now for women. The true love test for women. Number 1, how often does he go out of his way for you, physically, emotionally, intellectually? Number 2, does he genuinely want to know your true feelings, thoughts, desires, and fears, and be impacted by them? If you get interrupted while speaking, does he bring you back to your point? Number 3, is it his priority that you feel safe, loved, and understood? All right. And I just want to do a quick little exercise too with everybody, just to kind of help with some of the negative thoughts. So I just want everyone at home, you guys can do this exercise as well. I just want you to sit back, just relax, just close your eyes. And in a few moments, you're going to be more relaxed than you ever known yourself to be. I'm going to mention certain parts of your body, and as I do, I want you to just feel that part beginning to relax. relax, relax. Just feel that part of your body beginning to relax, relax. In order to help you relax, I want you to imagine yourself in a wonderful place that you love the most. It could be the beach, it could be your favorite vacation, whatever it is that you solely desire. I want you to imagine that place. I want you to take any negative thoughts that you've had in the past, and those thoughts are gone. Any pain that was done to you, any negativity, any wrongdoing, those things are thrown off the cliff. You're going to embrace now into a new beginning of love, of growth, of positivity. You're going to share that positivity with everyone, with people that you love. And moving forward into your new relationships, it's going to be love, humbleness, forgiveness, excitement, true love. Now, as you start to come back from relaxation, I'm going to count from 10 to 0, and you're going to slowly come back. And when you come back, you're going to feel like a whole new person when you come into your new relationship. 10, I am strong. 9, I want love. 8, I deserve love. 7, I will give love. 6, I will accept love. 5, I will learn to love. 4, I will forgive. 3, I would always remain positive. 2, I will love unconditionally. 1, I will love unconditionally again. 0, you are now coming back and embracing who you are. Thank you, guys. You may open your eyes.
Thank you, Kingi.
Wow.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Thank you.
That was good stuff.
Speechless. That was so wow. Thank you, Kingi. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yay, that was Kingi Santiel from Arizona, speaking about the respect in relationships. And that wasn't only about respect, that was like about that was covered like so many different things with the help of this topic, but not only the respect, I think, but lots of the conscious things that people should remember and take care of about each other. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Looking forward to post it further on YouTube and to share that with people. I'm sure people are gonna love it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
And right now, that's the time for Shiny Soul, Tyishua McCoy. Yay!
Awesome. I'm excited. I am super excited. I'm gonna go right in to discovering different levels of love. First, I want to let everyone know, if you have not had an opportunity to purchase a copy of War Wounds on the Battlefield of Love, you can purchase this on Amazon. If not, you can call me, inbox me, or let me know that you want a copy and I can send you a signed copy. So definitely get a hold of it. It speaks truth in reference to love, life, intimacy, and relationship. It gives the truth from a woman's perspective as well as a male perspective. It was written blindly, so you'll see even some of the contradictions of how women and men think differently when it comes to those key factors in relationships. So it's very, very vital to the person as a whole individual, because it talks about self-care, being in relationship with self first, knowing who you are, being aware, and giving yourself some self-care before moving on to the next relationship. Because you don't want to definitely, go into anything broken. You want to be whole, mind, body, and spirit when it comes to levels of love, life, and relationships. So get a copy. And for all those that I invited, if you did come on board, if you have not gotten the book, inbox me, let me know that you were in the Grow Love Online Festival, and I will have something for you. So I'm going to hop right in. Again, this is your certified life master coach, Tyishua McCoy, here giving you true facts, information, and knowledge about discovering different levels of love. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen so that I can give you some information. Y'all see that?
Just a minute. Yeah. It should be available for you right now.
Okay. Everybody can see that? Can you see that, Karina?
No.
Everybody, you don't see it?
No, I can't
No.
see it. I can't see it.
Okay, let me check it out.
Let me try to share it again. Let me go into the share. Okay, here we go. Share.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah, y'all
Yes,
see
I can see it. Yeah.
Right, okay. So I'm right here, bam, and all right, come on, get it together, girl. Look, I just had it up, ready to go. Okay.
I will read your bio meanwhile, because
Okay, excellent.
I knew,
While I key this up.
I knew that you were. I was waiting to listen to you, so I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Karina.
But Tyishua McCoy, singer, songwriter, brand ambassador for Color You Cosmetics, founder, CEO of 7 City Divas and the nonprofit organization Build Not Break, the host of the Tough Talk Today show, and co-author of the book I Support Her, the anthology. And Mrs. McCoy is also a certified master life coach, specializing in the areas of relationships, professional purpose, goals, and success coaching.
Awesome. All right, so I got you guys all ready to go. All right, so discovering different levels of love. When it comes to situations in reference to communication, what incites good communication? A lot of people don't realize that communication is the car, but trust is the gas. And if you do not have that, it's going nowhere. Absolutely, you are at a standstill. Everybody can communicate though, but not everybody can comprehend. So examples, you can text, you can write, you can watch a video, you can verbalize it, but what information are you retaining? 100% of what we're saying or hearing, only 50% of it is actually being retained, unless both understand and agree to the information that is being shared. So just keep that in mind, when we're looking at different aspects of communication. So just remember, there are several things that make us feel insecure all by ourselves. You have debt, weight gain, health issues, intelligence, education, situations that, don't involve another individual. But when you bring another individual in and they create these insecurities within the relationship, the communication levels do not match. They will be off all over the place. And then you'll find yourself at a standstill and very stagnant in the relationship. So this, that is the key factor, definitely. Now, what do you do with the information you're hearing? You know, what does it look like to you? What does effective communication looks like? How are you listening versus receiving? You know, what type of listener are you? Remember, there are 3 types of mindsets that we incorporate. You have the reactive mindsets, comply, controlling, protecting. So either you're being defensive and protecting what's going on with you. And, you know, I everything that you say, I have to have something else to say to you in defense of what's going on with me. Then you have controlling, where I do hear what you say, but I'm still going to do what I want to do. So, you know, you'll have those. And then you have the comply, which is the person who's reactive. Like, you know what? Not only do I hear you, not only do I understand you, but now I'm going to actually move forward and make the necessary changes in my behavior so that I can create us for to move forward. You can't move forward if the change has not been made or created within the relationship. So you have to have these types of mindsets in order to move forward. You know, you have to have that comply there. You know, you just can't say, you know what, I understand what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. And then you're being patronizing to that individual or that person. But you really do have to be reactive. You need to listen, you need to hear, and you need to be willing to respond and do the work in the relationship with you and that individual that you're in a relationship with. So definitely keep that in mind. Moving on to the next slide. Changing the behavior that is disrupting the peace in the relationship. What makes you a good listener? Do you think because you're listening or you're being quiet? Are you a good listener? Some would say yes. Some would say, yes, I am a very good listener because I heard you, I didn't interrupt you, and I didn't have anything to say during the time that you were allowing yourself to be heard. However, how are you a good listener if you're not retaining the information? If you're not being receptive to what's being said? If your partner is listening to you and talking to you and wanting you to actually hear what they're saying and what's going on, you're not going to be reactive. You're just going to be like, I heard you. Now, what do you want me to do? But you're going to have that controlling actual mindset where I hear you, but I'm not making any moves. I'm good. I'm going to stay right here, regardless of what you just said. But I heard you, though. I listened. So be reactive in the things that you're hearing. If you value the relationship, you will make sure that you are complying, you and your partner, not just, you know, your partner, but you as well. You're actually doing the work in the relationship so that you can actually move forward and bring peace to the relationship and the things that need to be resolved. All right. Moving on. Healthy communication habits. I love this. So value what your partner brings to relationship. Consider the possibilities. What does it add? It is so vital that you add all of these things to the relationship when you create those communication habits that are healthy. I mean, you bring trust, you bring value, you bring appreciation, you bring validation, you know, acceptance, respect, care, patience, encouragement. You're comfortable. All of the things that can be incorporated when you create these healthy habits in relationship is phenomenal. And I'm telling you, people, if you do it and you're consistent, you will see the results. I'm telling you, talk to me. So consistency and commitment go hand in hand. Most of us are programmed to believe if you move too fast in a relationship, it will surely be doomed before it fails. Is that true? Should that only hold true for people in relationships? Let's think about that for a minute. You know, when we consider situations concerning climbing the corporate ladder at work or skipping a grade because they're considered educationally advanced, gifted, or talented, or someone becomes the youngest doctor to perform brain surgery or a sitting judge, because those individuals move hastily through life, will they fail? Did they fail? Or did someone tell them to slow down? Were those two not life-changing moments that could have caused mental and emotional trauma? I'm sure they experienced a few rough situations throughout their journey, but the reason they were able to move vigorously through each of these situations and be successful in achieving their goals, they were consistent and committed. The same can and has been applied to relationships, people. Think about this. This is vital information. So we know life happens in relationship that cause us to kind of take a, pivot. But most, if not all, relationships will experience those honeymoon periods, which I so graciously heard throughout all of these master classes, where everything is flowing, happy-go-lucky and beautiful. What happens? Life. Certain things that will slow the relationship down or cause it to come to a halt, a standstill, or be very stagnant. What happens is we let someone tip the scale. If you think about it, when everything was looking great and feeling good during the newness of the relationship, even then, something was put on the back burner within your life. Something was being slighted. It could have been anything. You started doing something more or less when you entered into relationship. What was that? Think about it. Were you going to the club? Were you going to the bar? Were you hanging with friends? Were you watching a lot of TV or not so much TV? Were you reading? Were you studying? Were you spending time with family and kids? Were you in church? Did you have a spiritual life? What tipped the scales? What happened? What threw you off balance? Balance is so necessary in all aspects of life. You can achieve this by creating consistent, healthy habits. Journal what you would consider healthy habits and start implementing them in your life, a few days at a time, then a few weeks, and so on and so forth. This will create the necessary change that you need to have. I know a lot of people don't realize or think, but it takes 21 days to form a habit and 66 days to actually master a specific thing. So keep that in mind when you're journaling or you're discovering new things about yourself, or there are certain things that you want to incorporate in your life that's going to bring you to a place where you're actually able to do these things on a consistent basis to add balance, because it is vital and very important. Remember, if you're consistent, you will not have to worry about perfection. You don't need perfection, you need consistency. If you create those healthy habits, they create a harmony and a balance within the relationship. Think about it. How is it that so many couples stay together through so many life-changing moments? In my book, I stated where they probably had several dynamics that interrupted the relationship in probably some tragic and traumatic ways. However, the deal breaker was they had a plethora of awesome, fantastic, mind-altering, blowing your back out situations that allowed those to cover all of the tragedy and the trauma or the PTSD that they may have experienced in the marriage. They didn't have so much trauma where it overpowered the happiness and the love and the trust and the commitment. So think about that. Someone or both were very consistent in creating some type of healthy habit within the relationship. So these things matter when you're talking about consistency and moving forward in a relationship and wanting it to be very steady. Connection. What do we know about connection, people? A lot of times people are like, oh God, I think I connected with this person and it was so good. It was, we were able to talk about this and talk about that and do this and do that. However, you can connect with dozens, even hundreds of people. But you also have to have some chemistry and energy that will correlate that connection. And a lot of people don't realize that. How do you want to connect to someone? For all my single people out there, how do you and your mate connect if you are in relationship or married? What is reflected more in the relationship? What tools and ideas are used to connect you in the relationship? Usually, how you and your mate connect is what you built the foundation of the relationship on. Whether it was love, sex, children, family, finances, religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs, physical appearance, maybe even similarities like music, food, or health and wellness. What was it? Think about it. What was it that brought you together? Or how is it that when you are actually out here and you're taking the path to relationship, what is it that you're connecting, or how do you want to connect? Those things are very vital and very important. You know, none of us would ever view a past or present future situation as, you know, a trend, but we do, you know, and it's just sad that we do certain things like that. So you don't want it to be a phase of why you met someone. That means that chemistry was, you know, engineered or created, actually not even on the aspect of something that was real. It might have been a very false sense that you created within the relationship that you wanted to have. But remember, the foundation that you build your relationship on is what will actually carry it out. So if it was built on intimacies and sex was the foundation, that's pretty much where it's gonna stand. It's gonna be right there. Same thing with family. If you had a baby with an individual, and so this is what's keeping you together. Oh, we're together because we have a son and I want to do the right thing. Then that's going to be the foundation as well. Or if it was finances, I got involved or married or incorporated myself in a situation because they were well off. They were able to take care of themselves, or they had a little bit more than myself. That's going to be the foundation. If it was religious beliefs, you met in church, or you both share the same wisdom and information concerning your religion or your spiritual sense, that is going to build the foundation. Physical appearance. If you were shallow, if you saw this person, oh my God, they're so beautiful. Oh, he's so handsome. And you built it on that. That is exactly the foundation that the relationship will be built on. So just keep in mind what you actually want to build your relationships on as you move forward and move on. And then you also might want to journal the current situation that you're in. If there are some challenges that you may be having, figure out what the foundation was. And you may just need to tear it down and rebuild, and then look at what it is that you want to rebuild it on so that it is stable, is sturdy, and is built for tough enough for it to sustain any trauma that may come or be caused in the relationship. So we connect and bond through various opportunities. How do you bond and connect with the individual? Was it emotional? Was it intellectual? Was it physical? Was it spiritual? Was it occupational? Because people do meet at work. Huh? Am I not right? Then you have an environment. You might have been out and about at the park, at the stoplight, at the 7-Eleven, at the Wawa. Who knows? Social and cultural. You may, be involved in different things as a volunteer, or you may work, as a worker somewhere with children, or at a school, or doing things, that incorporate a social or cultural activity. These are the things that could actually bond us together. So think about those things, like I said, as you're breaking down and building back up. As I was speaking before, none of us would ever view our past, present, or future situations as a trend. But some of us carry that type of mindset into our relationships. We roll with whatever felt good or looked good for the moment. We should consider every step we take toward a relationship as a situation that will affect our lives in some type of way. Remember how and why you connect with someone. It will alter how you think, how you feel, how much time you invest, and for some, even certain characteristics can and will change you within the relationship.
Okay, because I can lower the seat, right?
Hello? Could you mute, please? All right, so if there are certain habits that you both share, it could make for a very positive or challenging situation, as I spoke earlier. If they are healthy habits that could possibly bring change for the better, then this is a plus. Healthy habits bring change and growth to both that will add to the relationship collectively and individually. However, if there are habits that are challenging, it will make for a long, drawn-out, damaging process that could be very toxic, taxing, and draining, as I heard another one of our master coaches speak on. Leaving someone, if not both parties in the relationship, feeling very exhausted with a deep, negative, heavy, and stressful impact. So a lot of times we look at relationships and we see what pulls us together, and then we look at those things what are tearing us apart. So what connections are you holding on to make the relationship come forward? How do you repair a situation such as this? Is there hope for recovery? How do you prevent future dealings? First and foremost, you must be able to articulate your feelings. Examine if those feelings are valid. If you value the relationship and whom you are with, you will be willing to correct the situation. That's going to be sacrifice. A lot of times, when we make too many compromises within the relationship, it can sometimes complicate the commitment. Meaning that, every time you look up, every argument is, well, wait a minute, how about if I do this and you do this? So then now you're compromising not only your integrity, but your self-respect, your morals, and your values. At some point, you're going to diminish everything if you continue to compromise instead of be consistent and add those things that are healthy or create those healthy habits within the relationship so that you know that the things that you're doing and moving forward to do are going to create balance. Oops, sorry about that. All right, so now we are at transparency. I love this. I thank you so much, Kingi, for being transparent. Like I said, I love the fact that you were able to actually give us information and tell us, about some of those personal situations that you've experienced. But transparency, trust provides a safety net to be transparent. Being emotionally transparent is a way of being truly honest about yourself. It just means sharing what comes up in you that prevents closeness in the relationship. It could be fear, anger, sadness, resentment that keeps you from being fully committed. Now, when you're in a relationship and you're wanting to be transparent about who you are, most people, I think the saying goes, I'm gonna throw all my cards on the table. And a lot of times the cards that they're throwing are face down and not faced up. So they're not being completely transparent. The things that are vital in the relationship are not being shared. That's because closeness, promoting honesty, is not about telling your partner about what you think of them. It's honestly sharing about what you think and feel about yourself. Being transparent within a relationship is about sharing our thoughts and feelings honestly, without fear or judgment or repercussion. It is not about telling our partners what we think of them. It really bothers me. I know everyone out there has heard this phrase sometime or another, or you may even said it yourself. Those are the key words. It is not stating that my partner is doing something wrong. At least that's not what we want to say it is. However, a lot of times people don't know what they mean when they actually, communicate this phrase. The question itself is clarifying that what my partner is doing is bothering me. Transparency requires us to have an honest curiosity about ourselves. The real question we should be asking is, why does it bother me? Are you wearing everything that your partner says? Are you super duper sensitive about everything that they're communicating to you? That's the answer we're looking for. Transparency is not about confronting others. Transparency is actually about confronting ourselves, our fears, our situations that are hindering us from being fully committed and consistent in the relationship. Identify them and be able to share them effectively. Now, I just took the time to just pull out a couple of keywords to all my single people, married people, relational people. I want you to take a super long look at this list. Emotions and feelings, and how well do you articulate them? This is a list of just some feelings and emotions that I came up with because I wanted us to have an opportunity to review them and just look at the things that we may be trying to actually articulate to our loved one. However, it's not coming across as that. You're pretty much are saying the definition of whatever word that it is. And a lot of times it comes out as an explanation versus as articulated as an emotion or a feeling. So I just took the time to put them out there. And what you might want to do as an exercise, write down some of these words, cut them up, number them, face them down on the table. And when you and your partner are together or have some alone time, or maybe just, sharing a moment without TV or the kids, You dump them on the table, you turn them over, and you pick them up. And each of you will share exactly what you're feeling about yourself, what makes you feel afraid, what makes you feel stressed, what makes you feel vulnerable, what makes you feel confused, what makes you feel excited, what makes you feel happy, what makes you feel lonely, what makes you feel like I can trust. So take the time out to just go over those words, give them an opportunity to actually resonate with you, and just talk to these things to your partner about. I mean, just iron them out, lay them out on the table, and give yourself an opportunity to really be honest and transparent about your feelings. All right. As I was saying before, it's not about confronting our partner and likely getting a defensive response, because that's what you'll get, but rather to analyze and confront ourselves. Why do we feel that way? It's difficult for anybody to make us feel an emotion. Example, someone does something to you that would definitely bother them. And if and when it happens to them, however, they do it anyway, knowing it was wrong. Yet you say you care and you love who you are doing this to, therefore suppressing the emotion and hurt within yourself. Their response to pain will be opposite of the pain they are causing another individual. So a lot of times what happens is a person is not bothered until they are hurt themselves, or the emotion comes across of something that you now have reciprocated. I think, Karina, you described it earlier as karma. That was the word that was used. That was something that will come back to an individual. Or you hear the saying, hurt people, hurt people. So a lot of times that phrase is, over exaggerated a lot too. We have 100% control over how we choose to respond, what we do and how we feel. The important question to ask ourselves is, why do I feel that emotion? Without trust, relationships fail to grow. An effective way to build trust is through transparency. Without trust, relationship can go all the way to the left. We do have to make an effort to share our emotions in a curious rather than a defensive and controlling way. Or confronting way. A lot of times we hold on to those past situations, as you were saying before, Patrick, in reference to us holding on to situations that now have put us in a situation where we're no longer wanting to do the work in the relationship. Have you or someone that you know ever felt alone within the relationship? It happens all the time. People can live what they are essentially separate lives for years. And this is sad because this is happening even now today within this pandemic, which is very, very disheartening. So just think about what we're getting ready to review here. When we keep our inner lives private, we start building walls and closing doors over time. This will create distance and will often result in a strained and unhappy relationship. Unfortunately, many people even feel that this is normal. Yes, it is common, but it should never be considered normal. And what happens is you end up getting in a relationship with someone who will never see the normalcy in that, what makes for a relationship to go to the left again. So that person may have done that throughout relationships. And now is coming to a place where you're with someone and they're willing to actually articulate, hey, this doesn't feel good. It doesn't serve myself. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve our relationship. So you try to figure out, what is it that I need to do? And now you have your partner questioning themselves when they were really self-aware. They came into the relationship with honest intentions, and that you weren't transparent enough to allow them to make a sound and decision and a choice as to if this is what they really wanted to do and move forward in relationship. So just remember that as well. So being authentic means being true to your core self in everything that you do every day. It requires a significant amount of self-knowledge and self-awareness. Authentic people accept their strengths and weaknesses and are accountable to both themselves and the world around them. They are aware of their core values and act intentionally in a way that is consistent with those values. You can say you love your family, but you're willing to sow discord and destroy relationships within them. So how could you say that you're a person who loves family, but yet you're doing everything to break it down and minimize it within that core if you say that's one of your values? So think about that. So again, transparency equals trust. Obstacles of intimacy. I'm not going to go all the way into this because I really, want to cover some other things in reference to this. But with intimacy, in what ways are you intimate? And what are your wants and needs that you want to manifest within intimacy? A lot of times we feel like we're not able to be intimate bedroom wise. However, intimacy is on an intellectual level. Intimacy is on a spiritual level. It can be reached and obtained in so many different ways. However, these are the things that will build obstacles towards it. Barriers to establish and maintain intimacy. Fear of intimacy is manifested in many ways. Fear of failure, fear of being vulnerable, fear of being rejected, fear of being smothered in a relationship, or fear of sex. So again, in what ways are you wanting to be intimate, and how do you want to manifest it? There are several different aspects of, as I said, spoke before, intimacy can be physical, spiritual, intellectual, emotional, sexual, affectional, and social. So there are different aspects. You have to look at what actually builds intimacy with you and what works for you and your partner. Maintaining intimacy. It has to be maintained mind, body, spirit, and with emotion. I know a lot of times, people are saying, I love you, as I heard one of my master coach say this morning, where he said, when you say, I love you to your partner, how are you saying it? Is it some old dry, I love you, or is it heartfelt? Are you saying it with some emotion? Are you giving it to them and letting them know, I really do love you and I care for you and I care about us and I care what happens to us. You have to actually give that with some emotional well-being. And it actually makes and brings joy to the relationship. So the power of humility, this is where I really wanted to get to. Humility, although being humble is a sign of tremendous inner strength, it can still be perceived in our society as a sign of weakness. Power of humility. We tend to place so much value on accomplishments and appearances that we sometimes can lose how important humility is to our personal well-being. Humble people understand and accept their strengths, weaknesses, limitations, and abilities without defensiveness or judgment. It is easy to lose touch with placing others before ourselves. With an astonishing rise in divorce rates and an increase in individuals choosing to be single, we as humans must go back to the basics of kindness and humility. To be humble or practice humility means to value other people and their opinions without indulging in self-pride. The ego is a terrible thing. We actually need to set that aside because that can kill anyone who says, I am humble, or I'm a really humble individual. I'm humble because I do this, or I'm humble because I do that. If you're still experiencing any type of self-pride or, ego-based situations, or you're boastful, or you're arrogant, or, you're displaying any type of vanity, please take humility out of your vocabulary because that is not what you are displaying. It definitely comes from having a different mindset. Yes, there will always be that antagonizing individual in your life who will always have to prove their point, but it is your choice to engage in their argumentative or opinionated behavior. You have the right to walk away from the conversation or to simply just agree with them in order to create peace. Now, I know some people be like, well, look, I don't like fluff and I don't, I want to be real. I don't like being fake. However, again, if you want to create peace, especially if it's someone you don't always have to see or talk to or be around, like people at work, you can walk away or just be like, oh, okay, no problem. But if it's your mate, you might want to, discover what type of mindsets will work best for you in that relationship so that you can see that I need to bring and create peace within the relationship. You always have the choice to practice humility, even in the presence of chaos. So a growth mindset. I can learn anything I want to. When I'm frustrated, I persevere. I want to challenge myself. When I fail, I learn. Tell me, I try hard. If you succeed, I'm inspired. My effort and attitude determines everything. If you have a fixed mindset where you're tunnel vision and anything that anyone else says, this is where you are. Either I'm good at it or I'm not. When I'm frustrated, I give up. I don't like to be challenged. When I fail, I feel like I'm no good. I haven't done a good job, or I'm not good enough. These are the words that will come from a person who has a fixed mindset. Tell me I'm smart. They need to always hear that they're good. They're doing this, they're doing that. So every time, or they're saying it themselves. They don't even need anyone. They'll always say, I'm good at that, or I did really good at that. That's a fixed mindset. If you succeed, I feel threatened. That means someone else is doing well, they're elevating, they're moving on, moving upward and outward, and they feel threatened by that situation. Fixed mindset. My abilities determine everything. If they feel like they're good, smart, or accomplished at something, that's what makes them. They wear that, and that will be the only thing that they'll be. No growth will be ever intended for that mindset until they change how they actually retain information and situations. How many of you have gone on a first date where the other individual talked about themselves the entire time and did not ask you a single question? To all my single people, by leaving you out of the date just a little bit, you allow yourself the freedom to discover whether this is someone you should be with. Or what about that one friend who's always telling you about his or her own problems, but never takes the time to ask you, how are you doing? Are you okay? You good? You got anything on your mind? You need to share anything? Or that family member who never stops talking about the past unresolved issues with all love to their own horn. However, it's not attractive in any way. Humility, arrogance, and self-esteem, becoming a whole person, is where it's at. You have to actually do the work within self. It may be surprising to learn that humility is actually a direct expression of an individual who truly confident and expresses a high self-esteem. People didn't even realize that. They think humility is sitting in the background, not saying anything, or someone who's not walking with confidence, or their head high or their chest out and feeling good about who they are. But that promotes humility. That actually builds humility, a person who is confident and has high self-esteem. Being vulnerable and showing humility to a romantic partner can allow for better communication and trust to develop in the relationship. Being aware of what you don't know and asking questions allow for learning to take place within a relationship. And the humble individuals are more likely to admit their faults, apologize, practice forgiveness than an individual who is boastful or who is a narcissist. Many conflicts and arguments within relationships can be easily fixed. However, the majority of individuals are more concerned with proving a point and being right rather than listening to the needs of their partner and trying to understand the underlying catalytic that initiates the argument in the first place. The goal of a relationship is to grow within your partner, not fight against them or come out winning. Remember, your partner should be your energy, not your enemy. So let's talk about it, people. We got a few minutes.
That's a blast. That's wow. Can I have that list of emotions so I can read all of those? I mean, I'm joking.
I can sing you that. Yes, I can definitely sing you that. That is not a problem.
That's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, people need that.
Yeah, me too, please.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And, I wanted it to be something where people, would be able to relate, across the board and, giving situations to people that will, just resonate with them, not just now, not just today, but henceforth.
That was wonderful.
Thank you.
That was wonderful. I'll also need to go through all of them so that I can
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can definitely send that to you all.
Okay, no problem.
That's interesting. Like, I'm listening to you guys today, and I think one of the like main points that how do people end up being with the people like who are not really right people to them, but they can see that from the very beginning, but they anyway go onto those relationships and suffering after. Tyishua, should I stop sharing the screen?
Yes. Excellent.
Yay. So what do you think about that? Like, what is the main reason, and what can help people stop doing that? Because I think that's one of the most important, most burning problems that people have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think a lot of times in relationship, as I was sharing with some of the relationship etiquette, with the communication, the connection, the consistency, humility, and transparency, all of those are just key factors that will build relationship. Before even coming into a relationship, a conversation needs to be had. And a lot of times we miss the red flags, or we just want to sweep them under the rug, and then later we tripping over them, literally. So, you see this big lump of red flags, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I knew, I saw. So now you have to make a choice and a decision. Is this something that you want to, as Kingi said, change your partner? Because what's going to have to change is either you coming out of the relationship or you just saying, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and roll with it. And now everything that you came in the relationship with, your core values, your morals, and where you were as far as what you wanted to bring and insight in the relationship is now doomed. You're not even able to stand on anything because it's now been built on a lie. So, I would not advise anyone, if you're single, and you're looking at relationship and you're wanting to date and you're going into a situation, have that conversation before going to the bedroom. A lot of times the bedroom complicates all of this, before having those core conversations that will bring the relationship to a standstill, to become stagnant. Because as I was saying before, what are you building? What is the foundation? What is it laid on? So you have to think about where you actually want this to be. And again, if you're married or in relationship, revisit what your foundation is. Revisit why you came into the relationship. And if you get to the core and the bottom of that, you'll see whether or not this relationship will stand the test of time.
How do you think, is that better? What is the best thing to do? Try to find the common language and try to find the ways how to save the relationships, or when we see that we're in pain and there is no ways, like the partner doesn't hear us and the partner, for example, doesn't want to work with us, and we are the only one who are taking care of making peace in relationships. So we cannot do that by our own all the time. And so what is better, like try your best until you burnt out, or like to leave the partner? Like, where is that point where you should understand that, okay, here is my self-esteem and I'm not gonna do that anymore?
Mm-hmm. I would not advise anyone to, if they're the only one fighting for the relationship, or if they're the only one who's putting forth the effort. I know earlier I was playing in my video on Teddy Pendergrass's song, it feels good loving somebody when somebody loves you back. I mean, I can't feel good if I'm the only one. Like, both of us can't be loving you and then both of us neglecting me. That's just not sound, so you have to really, make some choices and decisions on your well-being. If it's going to be some self-care in there, well, I broke down the word care. If you're not conscious of self, if you're not aware of self, and you're not respecting self, and you're not encouraging self, that is not self-care. Yes, Kingi. I mean, it's just real. You cannot go into a relationship broken, nor can you allow yourself to continue, allowing someone to break you. It's just not relevant. It's not gonna make any sense. Both individuals are gonna find themselves at a standstill, and eventually both will leave resentful, hurt, and carrying some of that residue into the next relationship. And if you continue to do that, that's going to unfold again. And if you're that person who jumps from relationship to relationship to relationship, and you haven't given your opportunity yourself to heal, you're not going to do anything but carry that weight in. And then you're going to be passing that on to an individual who might be sound, very self-aware. They've done the self-care, and they've done the work on themselves to give them an opportunity to really find true love. And now you're coming in with all this brokenness, this baggage, and you're not self-aware. You don't love yourself, and everything about you has to be about you. It's not going to make for a good situation. That foundation is going to be very shaky, and you're going to find yourself, not wanting to actually give all at all. And the individual is going to pretty much fall to the wayside. And you missed out on a really good opportunity for someone to truly love you. And that hurts, when someone's coming in, when their intentions are very good, and they're very self-aware of what it is that they want and desire in a relationship.
Great. I think today.
What's that, Kingi?
I was just going to say, and unfortunately, the biggest thing, discomfort that we do to ourselves is that we lie to ourselves all the time. We're our biggest liar. We lie to ourselves. And we know that if we're in a situation that's like you said, you meet someone, you see the red flags, and it's like, okay, I see them, but no, it's gonna be fine.
I'm good. It's okay. I can do that. I can do it.
Exactly. And it always comes back.
And kicks you right in the hind parts. Literally. So, yeah. Any other questions, Karina? Was there anything else?
Yeah, we had a question from the visitor that how to forgive the partner for the mistakes and for the pain that he brought onto the relationship, and how to let those go.
Absolutely. Well, again, forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for the individual who was burnt. A lot of times, if you got the 3rd degree burns, you're going to have to say, okay, either I'm going to forgive this situation and move forward, or you're going to continue to let those past situations arise. But again, is it really the past if an individual is still continuing to do those things to bring hurt, pain, and disappointment to the relationship? No. And that's not going to be true forgiveness. And did that individual accept your forgiveness? Because if you accepted the forgiveness, then that means you too have a responsibility to move forward and do something different and cultivate trust, and bring that individual to a place where they can ensure that, I was vulnerable enough to forgive you. I need you now to make the sacrifice to make the change.
Great. That's wow.
Excellent. I hope everybody enjoyed. Was there any other questions? Did anyone else have anything?
No, how just to let go, of the pain.
That's a very difficult thing. I think we were talking about that in yours too, Kingi. Forgiveness definitely is a big thing. And people have to realize too, when you forgive an individual, you don't necessarily have to sit in their face. You don't have to be in their presence. You can forgive and you can move on. Like I told you, it was one of the young ladies who was listening to us. And she was like, you know what? I've forgiven, but I had to move forward. I could not be with that person still and be, with them, because every time I looked at them, it took me to a place of pain. So, and I understood that because I've been there myself. So that's why I was like, let me let her get it from a male perspective. I was like, so I did not want to be biased in, giving her an answer. However, I wanted to definitely share my sentiments with her and, be empathetic to her situation, because I've been there, and a lot of times when we do forgive the individual, we need to see the change in them as well. You know, it's not just a one-sided thing. It needs to be where I've forgiven you. And if we're going to be in relationship, then I need to see that forgiveness cultivated in throughout the relationship. It just can't be said, I forgive you. And, you know, and then there has to be some resolution behind that. Okay, I'm going to forgive you. However, how are we going to change this so that I don't feel like this again? I don't want to keep revisiting the same old situations that allow me to feel this pain, because all it's going to do is bring you back to that place of pain that you've already forgiven this individual with. No, it may not be the same thing, but it's that same pain. You still felt the same way. That individual caused that same pain. Yes, it might be two different spectrums. It could be they were, you know, infidelity in the relationship. Then they lied. Then they, you know, gave you a reason to think that they were doing something deceptive. So now it's just piling on. And you're like, dang, I can't even get over the past hurt from the current hurt and the future hurt that you're going to continue because the behavior has not changed. So those things have to be cultivated in the relationship in order for forgiveness to truly be revealed.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I just want to say one thing too. Well, number one, great job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And when it comes to forgiveness, you know, truly, you have to truly forgive the person. And you can't, a lot of us have the habits of saying, well, I forgive you, but I don't forget.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And right there, you can't add a positive and then come back with a negative and expect it a positive outcome. You have to truly forgive and let go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And from there,
so choices.
Yeah,
go ahead,
sorry.
Karina.
No, go ahead.
No, so you have to make choices with your forgiveness. You know, if you're going to choose to stay with an individual, you know, first of all, that individual cannot manipulate that situation. They need to know that this person is being vulnerable enough to forgive you for something that you've caused. You've caused that pain. You've caused that hurt. And now you have a person who's standing before you and actually saying, you know what, I forgive you. However, you cannot keep creating those same moments to bring that pain, because then it can't be forgotten, you know, because now it's reoccurring more than often. So you have to make a decision. Are you going to stay after the forgiveness, or are you going to move forward so that you can heal properly? Because, you know, you still have the saying where it says you can't heal in the same place you were hurt. So you have to be mindful of that as well. So you have to take an account of how you want to deal with your forgiveness as well as your pain.
Bravo. I think we, for those who have been with us today, we helped to grow the self-esteem as well. Not only looking for different perspectives or different aspects in relationships.
Absolutely. You know, and I think we were talking about that earlier, Kingi, where we said the flaws and the faults should not be hurting or bringing any type of pain to an individual. You know, you can't just be in the relationship and then all of a sudden, you know, you're now doing something to cause hurt and pain, and you're just going to pop out like, well, that's me. Like, you know, that wasn't you 4 months ago. What do you mean that's me? And that's causing you pain. So now you have to, you know, again, make some choices and decisions on how you want to deal with that pain. Are you going to say, yeah, I want to stay with this individual and I'm going to see if I can change them? Or are you going to say, you know what, timeout, flag on the play. I don't think this is something for me. I have, because especially if it's something you're familiar with. You know, if you're in a relationship and you've done this before, you already know what results you're going to get. So it's best that you not even try to. I don't care how fine, how sexy, how good the bedroom was. You make some choices and decisions about how you feel up and in you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be a breakdown, not just chemical, but health, mind, body, and spirit that will kill your inner. Your self-esteem will be attacked, and then you will feel less than. And then you're going to carry that same situation into the next relationship. because you allowed yourself to stay in a situation that you know was not healthy for you.
Absolutely true. Thank you. Thank you, Tyishua.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Kingi.
Yes. Everybody was so phenomenal today. I was just like, it just inspired me even more to want to just continue to do the work with others and, help bring them to a place where they can actually find, some self-awareness. Because a lot of times, like you said, this right here is our own worst enemy. And it can beat us up and beat us down. And we're pouring all of that onto another individual, and not so. We need to really start, holding ourselves accountable for our feelings, our emotions, and what we're allowing others to, put on us. And a lot of times they want you to wear their BS. Not, absolutely not. You cannot stand for that. So when somebody's trying to push, their situations onto you, and you're not creating those moments in order for them to be valid about their feelings, you have to stand your ground. You have to be able to relate the information and articulate your thoughts, your wants, your needs, and your desires in relationship. And if you're not doing that, then your relationship is doomed to fail.
Yes, please.
I know, right?
Can
We
I
could
listen
do
more?
that. He's like, cut. So yes, this was phenomenal. I truly enjoyed. And again, any of you out there, if you have not had an opportunity to purchase the book, it's War Wounds on the Battlefield of Love. And it's just giving you insight to self-awareness, having that relationship with yourself before moving on to anything or anyone that may, be in your horizons concerning a relationship. I would hate to see, someone who's really building themselves up and preparing themselves for something beautiful, and then you don't have the tools and the knowledge and the skill to figure out that someone is not doing the same and bringing the same into your life. So that the book is set up to give you that information so that you can be, just discern, what another individual may be bringing to you. Because a lot of times you're not, you're so caught up in, I'm ready for love. I want to be in love. I'm ready new. And then, you get that and you receive that, and that individual doesn't have the same, self-awareness about themselves. You don't even know they 2-3 relationships in, you've been separated or apart or discontinued from something for about 5 or 6 years, and they hop, and here you are, next victim. You need to be aware of that, so the book is giving you that opportunity to just open your mind up a little bit, and not so necessarily moving too fast, because I want to share this with everyone who's listening. People are always saying, we got to slow down, you're moving too fast. No, because if you're individuals, you're meeting at the same time, at the same place, with the same mindset, it's going to work, because both of you are where you need to be. But if you're coming in and somebody's going 55 and you still going 35, it's not going to work. You're rushing to get in the bed, but you're not rushing to get in relationship. Backwards. So just wanted to throw that out there to you guys. So just be aware of that. If you want to really take things slow, take it slow before you go into the into me department. Okay.
This world. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. This was awesome, Karina. Thank you so much. And you guys were so awesome. I'm looking forward to reviewing this again on YouTube and then sharing it with others, because this is a wealth of information, priceless information that was given. And, if you have not had an opportunity to meet with a Master Life Coach, make an appointment, change your life. I'm telling you, it's going to be vital to your mind. It's going to be vital to how you move. It's going to be vital to your life and, what you incorporate in your daily living. It's a person who you can talk to that's going to be a confidant, and they're able to, be real with you and not patronize you, and, you know, and give you indications that are not going to, you know, make you successful in life. You know, we're here to bring you just to another, give you another skill set so that you're able to apply them in your daily living. And that's what we're here to do. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So, like I said, set an appointment. You got 6 of us right here. Make an appointment, change your life. So hit us up anytime, people. And if you have not told a friend or a family member about Grow Love, please share the link, give them the information, definitely make them aware of this YouTube video, and give them, you know, just a little touch of what you experienced here today as well. Tell them how you were enlightened and how they can too. So relationship doesn't just start with an individual, it starts with self.
So very true. Thank you, Tyishua.
Absolutely.
That was an amazing day, full of love, yes. And we did that. Thank you. Thank you, Nerpetz. Thank you, Tyishua. Thank you, Kingi. Thank you, Mahmoud, when you will watch it. Thank you, Rosalba.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank everybody for joining in. I saw a couple of people that I knew. Thank y'all so much for tuning in today, and giving yourselves an opportunity to just grow love and know love in a different way.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And that's it for today. I do hope that we will do something beautiful on the words. And yeah, share the links of Grow Low, and suggest people to watch the videos and to review the information, and take it and do follow the steps that life coaches shared with you today. That's absolutely worth it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm so happy. I'm actually so inspired. Yeah, the same. I'm inspired to move on, and I actually learned a lot today. And so we took onto the plate so many things today. I'm really grateful to all of you guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you guys again for sharing your knowledge with me. I definitely learned a lot. I took a lot of notes. I know y'all saw me sitting over here. I'm like, you know, just looking at things and just being aware and making sure that I'm in, you know, a mental healthy place so that I'm able to do exactly what I need to do to help, you know, future clients and myself, because I definitely need to apply it too.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
You guys be successful and keep it moving. I have to get ready for a book signing. So I thank you guys so much. I'm going to be signing out. Karina, we shall talk later, my love. I'm excited. All right, y'all have a good one and be safe.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Kingi, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say same here. Just thank you all for allowing me to share my experiences, and thank you for the opportunity for me to be able to embrace all the knowledge that you guys have to share as well. And I look forward to future events with you guys. And again, it's great now to have this opportunity to meet different friends around the world as well. So
absolutely. Absolutely. This was awesome.
Yay. Well,
yes.
Actually, true. 6 different countries. That's something wow. And we made that happen. Thank you. Just because of all of you. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay. I'm looking forward to share the info, share the video, post it, and I'm sure this information will help people, and we will have the absolutely amazing feedbacks.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Looking forward
it's going to
it.
help them. Big
well,
time.
That's it. That's the end of the Grow Low for today, but just for this appointment, for this festival, but not for the growing low in our life. And everything starts with us, we can do that, definitely. And we're worth it. We deserve to be happy.
Absolutely. Yes. Whew.
Sending you much of love and see you soon. Looking forward.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.